and welcome to the first episode of College Kings, ladies and gentlemen. We got
Let's
my
go.
boy here, CDM, and we are about to bring y'all some amazing content. Obviously, this is in college sports. We do have the pound perspective as well still, but me and my boy CDM. Sorry, I gotta get
No,
used
you're
to that.
good. You're
I gotta
good.
get
You're
used to
good.
that.
You're
But we've talked about this CDM. We've really
good. Dude,
dreamed
we've
this
been
one into
talking about this
reality.
forever.
Yes, we dreamed this one into a reality, man. We've always been
Super
massive.
excited. First,
Yes,
first for the College Kings, about to get this in the books, baby.
yeah,
You know,
we've talked
can't
about
wait to
this
bring
one.
exciting content to everybody, and sports news that's not fake or not accurate, dude. We want to put out the truth, and we're gonna put out the truth for y'all.
Dang right, bro. Dang right. We talked about this for a long time. Kind of made this one into a reality. We've been massive college fans for a long time, brother. And
Too long, man. I
too
mean,
long, too long to not have a show about it, and now we freaking
exactly.
do.
We could sit at we used to sit at the lunch table and just talk about this stuff or go to the house, but now we can actually put it on video and recording and talk about it.
Dang
Super
right.
excited.
Yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir. I'm so pumped about it as well. It's crazy that it's here. So, but
Oh my
like you
god.
said though.
Last Saturday, baby.
Oh,
This Saturday is the day.
yeah, week
We can
zero.
talk.
Week zero. Week zero. No, it's crazy, man. Like we've football's back. Obviously, like we've said, this is currently going to be a sports, college sports, football mainly show. But if it is successful, like me and CDM said, we will definitely bridge off and talk as many college sports as y'all want us to. We really want to
We will
bring y'all.
yeah, we'll do research. The main thing is doing research on every other sport too, because college is an open door for every sport. I mean, there are some sports out there that we don't really get into. I mean, esports is one thing that I've been seeing about that is just like it's skyrocketed over the years. So I mean, there's something that we can do. Gymnastics is really big. Volleyball, I mean, we live in the South, man. There's so much star-studded talent out there, especially the people that are like slept on too, that could still like make a ride in college and
Exactly.
probably go pro in their respected sport. I mean, there's so much that we can cover. But right now, I think college football, since it's coming back, is what we'll worry about. And then, later throughout, when every other sport starts coming back, we do our research and get back into it. But I mean, if this gets popular, who knows, man? I mean, the bigger this gets, the more content we can put out for everybody.
Dang right. Couldn't have said it any better, brother. Couldn't have said it any better.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like you said, football, and then we're going to try and branch off to the other major, basketball, baseball, because we are pretty comfortable in those sports. But like you said, we're not going to – we really want to give everyone a little bit of shine here, man. College sports is so fun. There's all kinds of crazy sports in college. Like
It's exciting.
it's so exciting and so much
It's so
talent.
exciting.
It's the young talent, young stars, and we want to try to give flowers to everybody. Obviously, we're comfortable in football, so we're going to stay here for a while. And with that being said, it's time to drop our
Get
college.
into it, baby.
Yes,
Let's go.
time to drop our college Kings top 25, first ever top 25 dropping on College Kings
I mean,
episode
I
one.
think I think they're pretty close so far. I
Yep.
mean, I've moved a couple teams around here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but it just depends on about what we're about to start talking about. Actually, I don't want to spoil the show,
Yeah.
so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this thing, man. Like we said, top 25 droppings. AP dropped theirs last week. We got all.
There were some moves that were questionable. Not gonna lie, but I mean, first it's the first preseason AP poll, so obviously there's gonna be some teams that we won't see after week one or week two, and I mean there could be some teams that we do see that are under the radar.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Last year, I remember most was how many top 25 teams lost. And then, like, comparing the first 25, top 25 to the last one is like, what?
Yeah,
It's
it is mind blowing. It was mind blowing, especially since like all the teams last year, I felt like it was anybody's year basically
yes.
to make the playoffs. I'm not going to say win it, but it could have been anybody's year to make it. Some teams fell off. My bad. Some teams surprised others. I mean, there was a lot. I mean, there was a lot that happened last college football season. And I think that's what got me more excited. Last college football season was different. It was a
Mhm.
lot different. It wasn't the same names, same people. It was mostly just like new teams are starting to catch up
Yep.
to the game for sure.
Exactly. And you said that the best way you could, man. It's the teams are starting to even out. It's not It's not just Bama Clemson. It's not just Bama Georgia.
I'm not going to say anything about my boys. Where I'm not going to say anything about my boys, but I mean, Clemson's starting to fall off. I think
Yeah,
Clemson may fall off a little bit. I
exactly.
mean,
And you got these teams
not
like
going to
Florida
disrespect
State.
either. Florida State is on the rise.
It's like they're taking over the ACC, man. So what's Clemson going to do? Are they going to respond? And that's what we're going to get really into, man.
I mean, I don't really know any. The thing about Clemson is like they don't have that threatening defense they used to have. Like that, they had a star-studded offense, but look who they had at quarterback. They had Trevor Lawrence, generational talent.
Exactly.
But now you have a new quarterback in a new system and a new defense as well. You lost some really good guys last year, two being Brian Persiz and Miles Murphy. Like both of them going into the draft last year was a killer for the defensive line. But they did just get the number one linebacker in the country.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens for Clemson. It's going to be a challenge just for Florida State, but Florida State has to live up to I wouldn't say they have to, but they kind of need to live up to that hype.
Yeah,
I mean, they have a lot coming in. They have a lot coming into this season for sure to take that ACC division back over, like how it was back in the day. Not even that back when Jimbo and Jameis Winston were there running it. I mean, if they can get back to that, it'll be wraps.
I mean, yeah, and you think about it though, that's 10 years ago, man. So it's like it's not.
It wasn't that long ago where
not
Florida
that long
State
ago.
was top dogs in the ACC, and then Deshaun Watson, and then turned it around.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's also quarterback. You got to have a quarterback.
Exactly.
That's what me and you have been talking a lot behind the screen. You have to have a quarterback in this league, and I think that's what I mostly. When I looked at the rankings, I mostly looked at the teams besides the top five. Who has the quarterback that can lead that team the most?
Yep.
Like you have to look at the roster around him, but who has that? Who has the leader?
Yep.
Who has the guy that's going to distribute the ball? That's how I mostly ranked my teams coming into this preseason poll. How did you do yours?
I completely agree. We talked about it, man. It's just these teams are so competitive and so close with NIL. It's like it's not so top heavy. So all these teams got talent, and for me, it's who's got that leader, man? Who's got that dog at quarterback? Who's going to be able to push? Who's going to be able to win the games for you? That's how I felt about my list, and it's like it's crazy to say that because the last two seasons, the team that won it had Stetson Bennett. No, there's no disrespect to Stetson Bennett, but he was never the best quarterback in the country, No.
No. And I mean,
the best team won.
But look what. First off, Stetson Bennett is a good quarterback.
He's good.
But look at the defenses this man had to carry him, dude. I mean, come on. This past year going up against TCU, it's kind of like a cakewalk. Like I was hoping he'd ball out that game, but I was hoping to be close. But against Bama, they had it figured out. They had that team figured out completely. They had that one loss. It was a wake-up call, and that defense had everybody. Like the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at them, dude. Like, look at the Eagles.
The Philadelphia Bulldogs.
They have half the roster on their team. I mean, Stinson was a good quarterback, and I mean, right now he's having a good preseason, honestly.
Yep, and yeah, exactly. It's one of those things.
You have to have that quarterback, and that's another thing about Georgia. Georgia's moving on from him. Carson Beck is now the starter. I haven't seen Have you ever seen Carson Beck play a whole season?
I've seen
him play? He's played an entire game before. I'm pretty sure. Right? He's probably played
not an entire game. No,
he hasn't played like a whole football game.
Not since high school.
Man.
It's tough.
Okay.
Beck's a dog, though. Beck was so good.
Moving on. I mean, and another thing, look at Bama. Bama lost Heisman winner, first overall pick Bryce Young, and now they're trying to figure out. They're just teams out. Like, those are some of the teams that have question marks.
Yep.
Kind of. Bama's one of the biggest teams that has a question mark for quarterback.
Yeah.
Everybody else. Oh, I forgot about Ohio State.
Yes.
Never mind.
You got three teams in the top five. 3 teams in the top 5 lock, in my opinion, that have new quarterbacks. And that's wild. And that kind of contradicts what we said, but it's like that's when you get to the top dog. That's when you get to the extra talent on teams.
I mean, if you look at it, in the top 5, the team with the best quarterback, in my opinion, is LSU.
I think you can make a case.
Jalen Daniels. I mean, he's got the most games under his belt because he played at Arizona State. We saw him at Arizona State.
Yep.
Dog
Dog.
comes to LSU first year, has a rough patch here and there with the new head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Beats Bama, goes to the SEC championship, wins the West. I mean, there's improvement from there.
Yep.
And I mean, Jaden Daniels can be that guy. Right now, he's the best quarterback in the top 5.
Yep.
I'm not going to say in the country.
Yeah.
But top 5, sure.
Exactly. And I mean, you made the point, and that kind of will lead us into these rankings, brother. I think that's the best way to get into these things. We're going to kind of break these things down slowly and not stick too long on these super early ones, but we'll start through 25 through 20 and kind of give y'all, we're going to give y'all our teams, and then we'll give y'all one team that we think could, not saying we're going to even make the playoffs, but could make a run maybe into that top 10 area. It's, kind of, it's one of those things when you pick one of these teams, you got to think smart. You can't think about you got to think about who they can beat to get there.
And that's another thing I looked at. I looked at strength of schedule. Because depending on what the schedule's like, depends on what the season's going to be like.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, you can have a soft schedule, go undefeated, get to the playoffs, and then get absolutely murdered.
It's so true.
I feel like you got to get battle tested. I feel like you have to have some type of mountain to move or some type of obstacle to go over. Like a team that you don't think can beat you comes out to beat you.
Exactly.
You have that one loss, and then you really, really have to play good to make that playoff run.
Yeah. It's so true because, man, it's the thing about college football, man. One loss can really just screw your season up. So let's get into these. Let's get into these CDM. Let's break down our top 20 through 25. I'll start us off here with my 25th team in the country. I'm picking the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Okay. I got you.
And let me go through I'll go through my top 25 through 20. So at 25, like I said, South Carolina. I'm going to go 24, Iowa.
Okay.
23, Tulane, American champs.
Oh, okay.
22, TCU. Got to have their respect, even though I don't think they're going to be great this year. I think they're.
That's what I still kept them in. I mean, you got to.
You have to. They made the playoffs.
They made a tip last year. They may not be good this year, but you got to put a little bit of respect.
Yep. Exactly.
Especially if this is losing to Colorado and Deion Sanders week 1.
Hey.
Early prediction.
And then 21, Ole Miss Rebels. Quarterback room stacked.
That's what I was thinking, dude. Like, I kind of moved them up a little bit because their no matter who gets hurt, if Jackson Dart goes down, hope he doesn't, they still have 2 starting quarterbacks in the back.
It's ridiculous how talented they are. I'm actually kind of surprised Dart's going to win the job. I really did not think he would, but 1 year.
Come in.
Yeah, me too. It's just that 1 year in that system, that Lane Kiffin offense is not easy, so I get it. But now, number 20, I got the Oklahoma Boomer Sooners.
I like that.
That's my top 20 through 25. CDM, let me hear yours.
Okay, starting at 25, I got the Tulane Green Waves.
Okay,
I think they just got to ball out this season.
Yep.
If they want to look legit, they just got to ball out. At 24. Got the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Right.
Originally, they came in unranked, but I find that very hard to believe since they actually have a quarterback.
Yes.
They have a good quarterback in Spencer Rattler. They have a decent defense to get through. But they have, Spencer Rattler is probably going to be that guy on that team. And plus, I like their head coach. Their head coach has grit. I mean, there's been times where he just, bums me out, especially after a big loss.
Yeah.
But, I think they can make a move this year. At 23, got Texas A&M once again. I don't think they're going to be the best this year, just depending on what they have and what they see during the season. At 22, I'm going to take the Iowa Hawks for that one.
There you go.
Just because they got K. McNamara back at quarterback. They have a quarterback now, and that defense is good.
Mm-hmm.
That defense can be a threat this year in the Big Ten. It just depends on their offense has got to score. Last year, their offense was god-awful on scoring.
Yep.
So they got to score this year. At 21, I have TCU. I think they do fall off this year. I think, they lost the quarterback. They lost their wide receiver. Running back room's kind of empty. But they have hit in the transfer portal. So I won't leave them out on that. Transfer portal's been a big hit. And then at 20, I put Oregon State up there. I want to see how it's going to go with DJ. They're a very run heavy offense.
Hmm.
So I mean, you run that ball a little bit more and let DJ. He's just got to put it on the number.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you got to do. But that's my top 20 through 25.
I like it, man. I got to say, the one team that we did not agree on is Texas A&M. And I'll give you my reasoning for this. I think the talent on the roster is definitely there. It is so obviously there. I have got to see it to believe it with this quarterback situation they're in.
I mean, they came back to didn't they go? They almost went back to back with 2 number 1 recruiting classes.
Yep.
I mean, you have the talent to be good in the SEC. Quarterback situation is a big one. I also think if this is not another successful season, then Jimbo's probably going to be in the hot seat.
Yeah. I mean,
like if it's
I think he already is, right?
I mean,
Connor,
did they make a bowl game last year?
No, they're 5-7. Connor, wait, did they? They may have been one of them trash. I don't think they made one. Connor Wayman is their quarterback.
Yeah, he was a 5-star recruit.
No, he's a good ball player. So it's just one of those guys.
He has good instincts. He's very mobile. He's got a good arm, and I think over time with development, he can be a star. He can be a stud talent.
He's better than Max Johnson.
He was only a freshman last year.
Yeah, exactly. Sophomore.
I mean, he can only get better. Transfer portal's open, dude. If that doesn't work out, there's some team out there that needs a quarterback.
Yep, completely agree, man. And it's one of those things where I just want to see it. I just want to see it. Once I see it, then I'll jump onto the, a little bit more of that bandwagon. But
the way you feel about them right now is the way I feel about, this is early, but Tennessee. I have to see Joe kind of play. You know what I mean? We'll get to that. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute.
We'll definitely we'll have a debate on that one. But yeah, I think that's a solid with our 20 through 25. We're pretty close, I would say.
Now, which team do you think can make a run for it, though?
That's a good question, man. And when I look at these teams, you got to look at schedule, like you said. That's a big part of this. And talent, that's a big thing too. So for me, I think it comes down to 2 teams, and I don't know which one to pick. Let me do one little thing real quick. I gotta look at one team's schedule because
Let me guess. One of the teams is Iowa.
Actually, no.
Oh, really? One of the teams is in Iowa?
I really like Iowa. I really do, man.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Iowa's kind of a sleeper.
They're tough.
Big Ten right now.
They're tough, man.
Tough one. I'm kind of interested now in what you got to say.
I'm gonna go mainly with scheduling. I'm gonna pick one team. I'm gonna pick Ole Miss because they have the schedule. They have the schedule, and
they do.
That's the biggest thing when a team is trying to make a run. Like I'm gonna look at let's see their big games this year. They got
Bama,
Tulane.
They got Georgia.
They have to play
They
Tulane.
got LSU.
Arkansas, Auburn, A&M, Georgia State. Like you said, Bama, LSU, Arkansas. Like I said, Tulane. That's a crazy schedule.
Dear God, dude, they got to play half of these ranked teams.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, their easy game is not even an easy game.
If you think about this, Southern Miss has to play Florida State week 2. Okay, they're going to be ranked. Florida State's still going to be ranked. Week 3.
They might be top 5.
Well, oh, God.
They might be.
Week 3, they have to play Tulane. If Tulane's still ranked, so that's 2 ranked teams right there. And then at the second game to the end of the year, they have to play Mississippi State. And guarantee, I bet you Mississippi State will end up ranked by the end of the year.
I like that. I like State's got some things to play for. That's for dang sure. But yeah, I think Ole Miss is my team right now when it comes to in this range because, like we said before, that quarterback room is ridiculous. If one guy goes down,
Kiffin just knows how to recruit, dude.
Oh, he's so good. He
machine.
knows how to recruit for a state that's they got talent, but they're not pulling the California kids. They're not pulling the kids from other states way off in the West. That's what Alabama's doing. That's what LSU's doing. That's what Ohio State's doing. Michigan. And when Ole Miss
you got to hit the West Coast. West Coast, the East Coast is there too. I mean,
It's true. But Ole Miss, that what they're so good at, and Lane's so good as that transfer portal, man. He is a master.
Transfer portal came in clutch for Ole Miss
He's
because half
so
of these
good.
there have been players transferring to Ole Miss just to play for Lane Kiffin.
I mean, why
But I
wouldn't
mean, his
you?
offense is so explosive though. Like you're guaranteed to get the ball.
Yep, and
There's a
Judkins.
guarantee you get the ball, but the defense is got like that's what I would be hitting in the most.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Is Judkins the best running back in the country?
What about Blake McCorum?
That's what I'm saying. Blake
I'll put him at 2.
Corum.
I'll put him at 2. Blake's 1, dude. Blake could have been a Heisman
That's
finalist last
fair.
year.
Florida State's running back's tough too. Florida State's running back's tough as hell too.
I mean, this running back class for the next couple of years, dude, is going to be filthy.
God, isn't it?
Like, I mean, if you look at it, Alabama's running back room is stacked a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan is there.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State with Henderson is right there too.
Georgia's always got a running back.
Georgia's always got a running back, dude. Like it's like if Bama didn't already have like running backs coming out of like anywhere,
yeah, for real.
then Georgia would probably be running back you. But Bama has running backs nonstop. Let's see, Penn State's got good running backs as well.
Yes.
I mean, but you picked Ole Miss. I'm gonna say my team that I'm gonna think that can make a run, and I think wholeheartedly they can. It just depends on what the coaching and the offense for sure. Their defense is battle tested already, in my opinion. Or by the time it comes to really when it matters, and I'm gonna take Iowa. I think Iowa can do it.
They're one of my favorite teams, man.
Big Ten's up in the mix right now, man. Because right now it's Michigan, Ohio State, and then you got Penn State, and then after Penn State, who do you have?
Wisconsin's in there, but
Wisconsin. Oh well, we'll talk about Wisconsin in a second.
Exactly,
because that's a team that interests me a lot this year.
Me too.
It's a team that interests me a lot. But I think Iowa can make a run for sure. Do they have to play some teams? Yeah, they're gonna have to play some dogs. But if they can come out they can come out and ball out and show the country what they're made of. They can totally make a run for the playoffs. It just depends if they can get through Penn State and Ohio State.
Yeah, it's I like that one. That was a team that I was high on, man, when I was making these predictions, and I saw some people were like, this team doesn't deserve to be in the top 25. And I was like, yeah, but this was before they got an actual quarterback. Do
you remember when Iowa was ranked at number 2 at one point, like 2 years ago?
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
And then they got absolutely blown out by Michigan State.
That's like a fever dream at this point, bro.
It sounds like a fever dream. Like imagine Iowa Hawkeyes.
I remember. I was rooting for them so hard too.
Not me, dude. They were frauds.
They were definitely frauds.
Get that work out of here.
I wanted them to be good. They just were not that good. And didn't they lose like 4-1 games or some shit? Nah, there's no.
Oh my gosh, dude! Last season they couldn't score a point.
It was so bad. That was one of the worst offenses I've ever seen.
Bro.
Their quarterback was so
bad. 5-3.
That quarterback was so bad, man. Like, and I don't like bashing players that much, but like
he was terrible.
Like he was not a D1 quarterback. Yeah, he was not a D1 quarterback. I just don't understand it. It's so crazy they didn't have any competition there. But I completely hear you. I hear you on Iowa, man. I think they definitely could easily make a run this year with just some help. You know, if they can win those big games, man, and maybe catch a dub catch some help from.
I was really surprised you had Ole Miss ranked that low, honestly.
I know. It was one of these things where I had trouble kind of tossing some teams around. And my biggest thing is I don't know if they picked the right quarterback. I don't know. I don't know if they picked the right guy.
I don't know if Jackson Dodge's the guy. I understand where you're coming from.
I don't disbelieve in him, but you got a Spencer Sanders. I'm a big Spencer Sanders believer. I've been saying that for too long.
Well,
and then Walker Howard. And Walker Howard's not bad. You know, so you got these two other guys that I knew Walker Howard wasn't going to win the job, but it's like you got these two other guys. I really thought Spencer's experience was going to help him a lot, and now that
he's got an arsenal of weapons on him.
That's what I'm saying. He's never had this kind of he's never had this kind of a run game around him. Oklahoma State was great with him, but he
was. I think he's the all-time leader, and like he holds records over at Oklahoma.
I mean, he's been there forever. Good God, he better.
He was a 4-year. I think he was a 4-year starter. I mean, there's give it time. Give it time.
We'll see.
I promise you, Jackson Dart screws up, or if he goes down, which I hope he doesn't.
No.
But if he screws up, that's Spencer's job for the taking.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is Spencer's last chance to like make an impression for NFL scouts.
100%.
Like he's got to have a good season this year because he didn't have a bad season last year. I mean, crap, they were a goal line run away from making the playoffs.
Yep. 100%, man. It's just, that's just crazy to think about, man. Literally could beat, if they just beat, don't even put me through that, man. I was so pissed off after that game.
If they beat Baylor, if they end it off,
God.
and he gets in, they're in the playoffs.
Man,
They get
so
smacked.
I was like rooting for Oklahoma State so hard that game. That was like the moment I was like, he could actually do it. He could actually prove me right. And then they didn't.
Dodge to the power line, doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it. He definitely
Insane.
didn't. Definitely didn't. All right, let's get off this. Let's kind of keep this thing moving. Let's get to this 19. Where are we at? 19 through 11 range.
19 through 11, babe. Let's do this.
This is going to be fun. I'll say
these are some of the teams that I find very exciting to
there's
watch.
some fun teams in here, man. I'll go through 19 through 15, and then we'll do your 19 through 15, and then we'll do 14 through 11. Let's get at number 19. We got Kansas State. It's one of those teams that got to respect a little bit for beating TCU. I think they'll be better than TCU this year, so I had to rank them above them personally. After that, one of my favorite underdogs, if they have even a competent defense, North Carolina. If they just have anything on defense, they can make a chance. They can make a run at this thing.
If they can get a solid defensive player, they have the quarterback.
I mean, they got good defensive players. They just got to get a coach that can coach them, man. I don't know.
They got to get a good defensive coordinator. Mac Brown, I know Mac Brown could do something good for that team.
It's so weird, man. He won a championship. He knows what to do. But let's keep this thing moving. Number 17, one of my other favorite teams, and I really like this team a lot, Wisconsin. And I'll get into that later.
I like Wisconsin. I like Frank. I like Frank.
It's like they got some skills over there, man. And let's move to number 16. I like this team a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback, getting a new chance, opportunity. Oregon State. The Beavers. I really think DJ has an opportunity. He's got an opportunity here to kind of prove some people wrong. We've seen him at his worst, and we've seen him flash. So it's like he's no longer in the spotlight. He doesn't got this big target on his back, this 5-star target on his back anymore. He can go to Oregon State, play some of the best teams, and if you win that conference, you have an opportunity to make the playoffs. So
for sure. I mean, I hate to say this, but the Pac-12 is not the strongest conference per se when it comes to defensive play. Mm-hmm. Like there have been Pac-12 teams out there with defenses that could rival anybody else.
Oh yeah.
But it's more of an offensive based. I think it's more of an offensive based conference.
Yep.
But DJ has the weapons to do so. I mean, he's got the height, he's got the arm strength, he's got the mobility. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say he's not a better version of Cam Newton, but that's one of my comparisons to him is Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's a fair size-wise, physicality size-wise.
I mean, you got to look at the size too. And I mean, if he can, as you said, if he balls out, dude, he can work his way up into, I would say a late second or an early second, late first quarterback pick.
I completely agree. He's got an opportunity. He's playing for something bigger than just winning a championship and trying to win the Pac-12, man. He's playing for a job.
He doesn't have that target, dude. I mean, after that Notre Dame game his freshman year, he balled out.
Yep.
And I feel like that set everybody up for high standards for him. And I don't feel like he could have just lived up to him. I think they were just a little too much in the making.
100%.
So I mean, getting out of that spotlight, as you said, and focusing on something totally different, it's going to work his game out for sure.
I 100% couldn't agree anymore. And then this team. The one team I think we could both agree on that actually might have defense in that conference and has for a minute now, and the only team that has had a competent one. I got Utah, man. Oh no, Utah, man, Utah.
Oh.
I do think that
the Oregon Ducks.
I do think Oregon's defense is going to be very good this year with Dan Lanning as their head coach for another year. So I will say that I do agree that they will have a good defense, but they're a little bit higher for me. So, got Utah here. I like Utah, returning quarterback. They got a lot of talent coming back. They did lose some on that defensive side of things, so there is going to probably be a little bit of fall off there. but they're so hard not to root for. They're so hard not to root for, man. They're so
I love
talented,
Utah,
man.
dude. Like, I mean, I'm loving how them in Florida are going back 3 years in a
I
row
love
with
it.
this series.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's a fun game. It's a
It's a
fun game,
fun
dude.
game.
Utah's a fun team to watch in general.
Yes. Yes.
Utah's a very fun team to watch.
Everyone was so
I
shocked
mean,
when they lost that game last
they
year.
could three-peat this year for Pac-12 champs.
Exactly, bro. They're the
Like, they
Pac-12
could
champs, most underrated and underappreciated team, like champion. And it's
I
like,
swear, bro, they don't appreciate them enough, bro. They won back-to-back. They beat Oregon, and then they beat Heisman winner Caleb Williams.
and that game was so good. God, that game was so
I
good.
mean, they beat the two teams that have basically ran that conference for a while.
Exactly, man. And now people don't just respect them as the team that runs it. I know I got them probably a little low for some people, but there's some talent lost there, and I just want to respect them, man. I love that quarterback. I don't think he's really an NFL guy, but he is a dog, man. He just works so hard, puts his body on the line.
Cam Rising,
dude, he's so good. Like I don't know if he makes it in the league. I don't know if he does.
He looks like a chill. He looks like one chill dude to hang out with.
Right,
like,
exactly.
I mean, but he can ball too.
Yeah,
I wonder how
great.
his game. I wonder if his game can like transcend to the NFL.
I don't know.
But if it can, though, he's gonna be filthy.
The thing about him is that he's such a dog, and he's got such a grit to him that he probably could make it in the league. I just don't know. I don't know, man. I got to see it one more year to see if he's an NFL guy. But man,
he's a senior, dude. So this is the year.
Exactly.
This is a make or break year.
And he's there's something about him when it comes to just as a college quarterback. That's like if you don't have an elite like a Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, if you don't have one of those kinds of guys, that's a quarterback you want, man. It's just those are one of those guys. It's like I kind of would rather him over a mediocre to / good quarterback. At least this guy's going to lead everything.
I need somebody with some. I need somebody with some pizzazz, somebody that's going to make something out of nothing.
Exactly. So that's where I'm at. We're 19 through 15. Let's hear your 19 through 15, then we'll get to the rest of these.
Okay. So at 19, I'm going to go with the Wisconsin Badgers.
Mm-hmm.
One of my big notes was, they went 7-6 last season. Okay.
Yep.
That's not the best. I mean, you made it above 500, but you can go further now. You have a veteran head coach, Frank. What's his name? Lively?
No, Luke. Luke Fickell.
Luke Fickell. Yeah, Luke Fickell. If he what he did for Cincinnati was amazing. We've never seen a group of 5 team make the playoffs. He was the first one to do it. And going to Wisconsin, that gives him a little bit more edge a little bit more edge for those players to look at. Seeing what he came from, what he did for a program like that. So I'm going to need him. I think if he can bring them back to what they used to be, a dominant team in the Big Ten, then they can totally do something. At 18, I'm going to go Oklahoma. Only thing, Oklahoma's weird just because they have a quarterback.
Yes.
They have a quarterback that can sling it down the field and make good plays. It just that defense, but the defense has been the question mark for so long. And I know Brent Venable is a defensive-minded coach, but I didn't see that last year, especially after you got shut out by Texas. You got massacred. And you're supposed to be one of the greatest defensive-minded coaches in the game. I mean, I know this is a first head coaching job, but step up. There needs to be that. You want Oklahoma to be feared, you need to step up that defense. The offense is fine. Let the offense do what they need to do, but that defense you need to put them to work. Because I know Oklahoma can be good in that Big 12 game for sure. If they have to play Texas, I think it's going to be a close one. Obviously, Texas will come out on top just because they have a squad. But that's where I have Oklahoma right now. Wake up that defense, and I think something will be good. 17, I'm going to go Ole Miss. I had Ole Miss a little higher just because I like the quarterback room. I don't think whoever starts for that team can make a run for it, depending on who they are. Because each quarterback in that room, they bring so much to the table. Spencer has the experience. Jackson Dart's been in that system for a whole year, so he knows what to do. Walker Howard I think Walker Howard slept on as a quarterback in the nation.
He'll be good one day.
Well, I mean, it's just look at the quarterback rooms he's gone into, bro. Look at LSU's quarterback room that he was in. Now look at the quarterback room he's in now.
Yeah.
He's putting himself in good situations.
Yeah, learn.
But how much time you have time to learn, but how much time do you really have?
That's true. That's true.
You have to look at that. he's going in. He was a red shirt last year, and now he's going into a sophomore year.
Yeah.
It's time to figure it out. Like, hey, is this really the place?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he can win that. Ole Miss just needs to step up that defensive side of the ball, as I said before.
Oh, yeah.
Step up that defensive side, and you can make a run for it. You have a tough schedule this year, but if you can beat those tough teams, I'm talking about Bama and Georgia and LSU.
Yep.
Those are the main three teams I think they have to beat to
And
make a run for the playoffs.
and if they do, they make the playoffs. So it's like,
oh yeah, dude. If they beat those three teams and just have one loss, Ole Miss is a lock.
Yeah.
They have to win the SEC championship. Honestly, they have
Yeah.
to go undefeated to the SEC championship
Yep.
to
100%.
even make a move. At 16, I got North Carolina because I found it very disrespectful that they were ranked at 21
Yeah, that was weird.
in the original preseason AP poll, and they have the second best quarterback in the nation this year. Found that very disrespectful. But as you said, their defensive side of the ball is just it's mid.
It's
mid play. Like it's pretty. But also, I mean, you got to look at the conference they're in. The ACC is not like the most threatening. But the teams in there are teams in there that will surprise you. Like Duke, watch out for Duke's quarterback next year. By the way,
he's good.
Like, he is good. Like I saw
they almost made the rankings, I think.
No, they didn't make the rank.
No, they didn't. They didn't. But
they got a couple votes.
I was about to say they were close though. They had some. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they got some votes. They made some. Yeah,
Okay.
They only had
and
4.
then at 15, to end it off, Oregon. You know, Oregon's another team with a veteran quarterback,
Yeah.
Bo Nix. Played in 2 big conferences right now. Played in the SEC for 2-3 years, and now he's playing at Oregon, second year back. This is the one team I think that can make a run for it. If out of any of the 11 through 19, I think this is one of the main teams that can make a run. But there's going to be some teams that surprise you. But Oregon, they have an offense. Their offense is down. Their defense is going to be good. It's up to the coaching now. It's up to Dan and what he can do for that team to push them past that limit to get to the Pac-12 championship again and make a playoff run again. Because Oregon's one of the only teams in the Pac-12 besides Washington to make the playoffs.
Yep, 100%.
So I mean, that's my 15 through 19. I'm not confident in some of these because once again, after week 1 and week 2, these will definitely change.
Yeah,
but
it's one of those things. It's like this first one's so tough, man. You don't know how good each team actually
because
is.
I'm not gonna lie, there was some of these teams are going to be good this year.
Yep.
Like some of these teams are going to be lethal.
Yep. 100% agree. It's just so tough to pick which teams are actually good and which teams are getting a little overhyped, who's got the actual talent. So I agree with you on that. But there's some ones in there that, I hear where you're coming from. You have an Ole Miss higher. I think I could have probably pushed Ole Miss a little bit higher. But, it's one of those things where it's so tough to pick these teams with historically bad defenses, man.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. It took a lot to put Oklahoma at 18.
Yeah,
it took a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
It took a lot not to put them in the top 20 to 25 range just because how bad that defense is.
Man, you see where I put
North Carolina. North Carolina was a tough one, too. But They have the quarterback to back it up.
Exactly.
They have a top 5 pick at quarterback. The last time we heard that was Mitch Trubisky, and we see how that's going.
Yep. And that shows you how I did my rankings, man. When it comes to these 3 teams, legitimately could be competing for the best offense in the country behind maybe USC. You get Oklahoma, Ole Miss. I put Ole Miss behind Oklahoma because I think Gabriel's a little bit better than Dart, and I think I put North Carolina over those 2 because I think Mays is better than both of those guys. So it's one of those things for me. It's just, man, I love offense, but if one of those 3 teams has just a competent defense, they could win their conference, man.
They can win. Yeah, they can win a conference for sure. But I think mostly what people think, and I don't really know how I don't know how the college mind works in this profession, but you have to have a star-studded offense. A couple, back in 2019, LSU showed that you had to have an offense.
Yep.
But Georgia showed that you have to have a defense.
Yep.
Georgia has reimbursed defenses and showing you how dominant it has to be to win.
Yep.
In a game like this. So I mean, you can have that star-studded offense, but if you don't have that defense, you're up a river, dude.
It's the thing. Bad. It's so true though, because I know LSU had Joe Burrow, number 1 pick, and then Alabama had Tua, and then they had Mac got drafted first round, and now Bryce Young. You look at these teams that, and then Georgia the last 2 years, it's not even about the quarterback. It's about, like you said, the stars, man. Those receivers, tight ends, running backs. It's these other guys that carry the team. It's like not the best quarterback wins every year. It's kind of honestly halfway a little rare. Last year Caleb Williams didn't win it, and Bryce Young too, and he didn't win it.
Yeah, I mean,
C.J. Stroud, he didn't win it, and he almost beat Drew, but he didn't win it.
I almost did. One kick away.
That's such a bad kick.
You thought Bama's kick against Georgia in the national championship was bad.
Nothing could be.
No, that's still pretty bad.
It was still bad, but y'all still pulled it off.
Hey, we had a miracle. We had God. We had an angel on that ball, dude.
Hey, you don't question it, man. You definitely don't question it.
I've never questioned it to this day.
You ran to a ball. 3rd and 19.
But I mean, you have to. The quarterback room, the quarterback's class in this year is just insane in general.
It's good.
There's so many star-studded quarterbacks, and I mean, no matter where they go in the draft, you're probably going to get a good quarterback. Take Aiden O'Connell, for example. I was so high on him at Purdue, and he turned out to be a 4th or 5th round pick, and now he's tearing it up in the preseason. And if Jimmy G goes down, he's probably the starter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many hidden gems. And you don't know there's a hidden gem on every single team that's going to make a pop out in one of these games, and they're going to light the country on fire like that.
Yep, I'm right there with you because once we get into these 14-1 range, this is when we start seeing the elite of elite quarterbacks.
Yeah,
man.
This is where you start seeing the best of the best.
So I'll give you my 14-11 real quick.
Go ahead.
At 14, I got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Same here.
I like them. They got a quarterback as well. Finally, it's one of those things.
They just didn't get a quarterback. I think they got a quarterback that's going to save that school. Sam is going to ball.
Sam's so good.
I mean, they have had Ian Books. They have had Tyler Buckner. They have had some mediocre quarterback play, but now they have somebody that can come in and really put the ball down.
I mean, he legitimately has a chance at Heisman. Like, he was so good at Wake
this year, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he was legit to be like a top 5 quarterback this year.
Yeah, and he missed.
He's got everything around him. Exactly. He's got the build. He's got the arm. I don't know about the mind. I don't know about that, but he's good.
He's good, man. He's good, and he's got talent. And Notre Dame, they don't have the Alabama talent, but they got talent. They've got top 25, top 20, top 15 talent. So it's like
it's been a minute since Notre Dame has really been put on the map in a while.
And their defense is always good.
Their defense?
Yeah, their defense is usually.
Their defense is solid.
It's usually pretty good. So it's one of those
things.
Their
offense is the one. The offense is the question mark for Notre Dame. It's not the defense. The defense is usually top 10 at the end of the year, top 15. But the offense is the biggest question. That's where people don't. That's where the question mark is for Notre Dame.
100%. It's one of those things for me too. How talented can they stay, and can they stay healthy, and can they win the big ones? It's the big ones. They don't win the big ones. So
it's really weird because they're still independent. So I mean, they're eventually going to be playing the ACC championship is the one thing they can play for, right?
Yeah, it's like, let me see. I got to see this. I got to see their schedule. I looked at it earlier, but I kind of forgot. Who's their biggest game? Oh, that's right.
Is it Cakewalk?
Wait, what? Hang on. No, yeah, I forgot. This is a tough schedule, bro.
Let me see. Read it out to me.
First 4 games they'll wax. I mean, North Carolina State's gonna be a fun game.
They don't have a quarterback anymore.
Yeah,
Sorry.
They're not gonna be the same. Then they get the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Oh my God, I forgot that is week 2. Oh my gosh. Hey, it's in South Bend though. It's in South Bend.
It is. And then they get Duke.
That's a good plus. They don't have to play at Ohio State. Yeah. That's still going to be. Well, no. Hold up. They don't even know who their quarterback's going to be.
Yeah. Well, Ohio State's tagged.
Notre Dame may be the underdog in that game, but I'd guarantee they win that game week 2.
I mean, it's.
Hold my word on it right there. Notre Dame will win week 2 against Ohio State.
No, that's week 5. Wait, no, week 5. Well, week 4 because they play week 0. So yeah, that's the 23rd.
Okay, bet. That's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, it is. And then they get Duke, Louisville. Those aren't slouches. USC, That's crazy.
Good Lord.
Pitt, that's no cakewalk. Clemson, Wake,
Eh, we'll see. We'll
Stanford.
see.
So, I mean, that's another team that's got a schedule they can make a run, man. But can they win the big ones? Can they beat Ohio State? Can they beat Clemson? Can they beat USC? Like I will have to see about
They got to
those.
beat some teams, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a lot of talent to be playing against. But number 13 for me, Oregon Ducks.
Okay, I
Bo
like
Nix.
that.
Bo Nix will be a Heisman candidate. We'll see if he
You
finishes
got them
first.
ranked higher than I do.
I like Oregon. I do. I think Dan Lanning's got a team this year. I think he's got
I
a.
like Oregon too.
I,
As I said, I agree with you. It's up to Dan. It's up to Dan what he has to do.
And man, that man has recruited and got some transfers. So it's like he's been to work, man. He's got this team looking even better than they did before he got there. He unlocked something in Bo Nix, man. And we all knew Bo had
Something we never
talent.
saw.
It was like, but we knew Bo had the talent, like some weird talent. He had that Johnny Manziel-ish kind of thing. It was just
Coming
about
out of high school, he was a very electric player.
yes.
I mean,
it's
he
that
was super electric.
it's that electricity that he brings. It's if you can, control
He's
it.
a playmaker.
Yes.
He's a playmaker.
But if you can control it, not let him just go crazy, if you can control it and allow him to have those 4 or 5 plays where you're like, what? Like that, Bo Nix, come on, man! Like he did that,
making outlandish plays.
Exactly.
But they're good plays at the same time. They're not going to lead into mistakes or anything.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I think they didn't do at Auburn. They just let him go. They just let him do whatever he wanted to. He didn't look comfortable at all.
Nope, he didn't have a good offensive coordinator.
He looks comfortable at Oregon now. He looks like a Bo Nix. First off, I didn't cheer for Bo Nix at all.
Yeah. It's hard. It was hard to for you. Now you kind of like him.
So hard. But now, I told my Amika today, I was like, Bo Nix is going to be a good quarterback this year. Bo Nix, I don't know how his game will transpire into the NFL.
Yeah, that's another one.
Be a good quarterback.
Yeah, that's another one. I'm not big on the NFL. He's just small. He's kind of small for the league.
Switch positions, dude.
Hey, John Rice Plumlee. Hey, all right.
No, that's who could do it.
He's so talented. And then number 12 for me. Got the Clemson Tigers at number 12.
Oh, okay.
I like them. They got a little bit of a proving thing for me still. I got to see a little bit of a step forward.
Yeah, they got to do something this year to prove that they're still one of the top dogs.
Yep, 100%.
Not even like top 5, top 10 right now, dude.
Yep.
Like, you're slowly slipping.
They are, and I just got to see something that proves that they're still here. Something that says, all right, Cade Klubnik can win a championship. I need to see something in that area, something where it's like, all right, you can't deny them, undeniable.
A lot of people have been trying to compare getting Cade to when they got Trevor, and that you can't do that because Trevor was just a different beast coming out of high school.
He was literally the greatest recruit, one of the greatest recruits of all time, man. And Cade's a 5-star. Cade's a 5-star. No one's taking that away from him. Cade's a very talented guy, but it's different. Cade can ball. Cade can win games. I need to see the championship element from him if I'm going to join this Clemson bandwagon.
The whole team, in my opinion, just needs to wake up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a new culture over there now because they've been gifted. Yes. They've been gifted in a lot of aspects of football.
Yes.
But now they don't have all those gifts anymore. They don't have a T. Higgins. They don't have a Amari Rodgers. They don't have Justin Ross, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Christian Wilkins. They don't have AJ Terrell. They don't have all these dogs anymore. They're starting to figure it out. Like, hey, we're vulnerable now.
Yep. At least they still got Will Shipley though.
He gives me. I don't want to say Christian McCaffrey vibes. He's just really weird.
He's weird.
He's a weird.
He's tough. He's tough.
Good, but he's good.
Yes.
At the same time,
he's one of those guys he's got an opportunity to really bust onto the scene and kind of really open some eyes. He could be the best running back this year. We forgot Braylon Allen from Wisconsin. Braylon Allen.
Dude, that's the one thing about Wisconsin is that's their offense.
He's so good. He honestly might be the best running back, actually, now that I think about it.
I don't know. Judkins from Ole Miss is just so good, dude.
So many good running backs.
Just imagine you had him and Snoop Connors on one side of the ball.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And Zach Evans. Yes. Never mind. You had him and Zach Evans. Mike, that's filthy.
All right.
So who'd you have at 11?
last team in this range, I got the Tennessee Volunteers.
That's what I was thinking.
I like them. I really like Joe Milton. I really am a believer. I liked him when he was at Michigan. I think he was just kind of thrown into the fire a little early, and there was a lot of hype with a guy right behind him. There was almost too much. It was kind of almost unreal expectations when you get a JJ guy, and then Cade McNamara comes out and shows that he can control an offense. The thing about Joe that he is – I'm not going to say Joe is an amazing quarterback or come out and say he's a Heisman guy. I'm just saying you can't have a better quarterback in that system. It's such a perfect quarterback for that system, man. It's unreal. Like he's so perfect for that Tennessee Volunteer system. The bombs. He's got a bigger arm than Hendon Hooker.
He can throw it 90 yards.
He's ridiculous.
It just depends on the accuracy.
Yep.
That's me. You gotta if you can throw 90 yards, you have a cannon.
Accuracy
you
and timing.
The ball where it needs to be. And clutch there's a lot around it, but you got to be clutch as well.
Yep, 100%.
College football clutch it's going to come down to a clutch moment, especially in the SEC.
And you saw them; they beat the brakes off of LSU last year, but then they get smacked by Georgia. So it's like they beat Bama.
They beat the heck out of Clemson.
Yeah, and it's like these weird moments. It's like, Hendon Hooker won some of those games, obviously, but like that was the biggest thing for me too. CDM was picking between Clemson and Tennessee. You go look back at that game, it's just like, Jesus, they were so much better. Like they were so much better. Obviously,
it looked like a more complete team.
Yeah, and Tennessee lost a lot.
It's not like Hendon didn't bring a lot, but I felt like most of the eyes were on Hendon Hooker.
Yes.
Everybody wasn't worried about everything else. It was just all about Hendon Hooker.
Yes.
Now Joe distributes the ball, and that Orange Bowl helped everybody out for that Tennessee team. I think it really woke that Tennessee team up and put them back on the map as, hey, we can still be legit. We were a contender this year. We lost two bogus games, or one bogus game against South Carolina.
Yeah,
that's when Hendon Hooker went down. It just depends on Joe Milton this year.
Yep.
Like Joe Milton has to be the guy.
And the thing that scares me about him compared to Clemson is that defense. That defense is a little shaky still, but looking back at that Clemson game, I know it wasn't Clemson's ones everywhere. I know that. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
It's bowl season. There's a lot of opt-outs, but the one thing for me was just like that defense didn't look bad against a team that had a good quarterback, a good offense, not a great offense, but a good offense.
I mean, the defense didn't look bad. I mean, they let 49 points up to Alabama, but after that, I think after the Georgia loss, it really kind of just was like, okay, yeah. But then
it was matchups. It's matchups, man.
Well, you could look at the South Carolina game.
Yep.
They got blown out.
It's just like it's weird.
They were that defense was just kind of inconsistent.
Very.
But it's also like, as you said, matchups. And if a team has your number, then you better buckle up and get ready because it's going to be a long night. And South Carolina had that number that night.
Yes.
And Georgia, I think everybody was just disrespecting Georgia at that game, and they let them have it. And that's what happened. Georgia just let them have it that game.
So tough. But, that's my 14 through 11. What you got, CDM?
Okay, so we had the same number 14. I had Notre Dame. They have a quarterback now. It just depends on what that offense has to do. That offense has got to wake up. If the defense can make a top 5 run this year to be a top 5 defense, and that offense can at least put up about 30 points a game, they have a legit chance to make a run. But as you said, they got to beat Clemson, they got to beat Ohio State, and they got to beat South California. At 13, I had Tennessee. I had Tennessee pretty low, but my biggest thing is I need to see Joe Milton play a whole season now.
Respect.
I just need to see it. And once he plays a whole season, and if he surprises everybody or lives up to what he needs to be, then they'll be ranked higher for sure. But right now I'm going to leave them at 13. At 12, you're going to think I'm crazy because I have them ranked below. I have Utah at 12.
I don't think that's too crazy. I like Utah.
Well, just wait till you have I have somebody else over them. Utah, they just have to continue what they've been doing in the Pac-12, winning games consistently, making those surprise plays. This Florida game is going to be the biggest determination on the season.
Yes.
Because they can, like, if they don't lose to Florida last year, they can make a run in this year for sure. But we'll have to see. And then at 11, I have Clemson, but I may want to change that later, just because I feel like Utah has a little bit more for them. But right now, I have Clemson just because they have the head coach, one of the best head coaches of the decade so far, in my opinion, in Dabo.
Yep.
Quarterback play, I wouldn't say is about even, but if Cade can really wake up this year and lead that offense, then I feel like it can be about even for sure.
Yeah, Cade's got more talent.
Cade has a lot more to his arsenal for sure. Plus, I feel like he may have a little bit more of a weapon play, or like wide receiver play and running back for sure.
100%.
So that's where I have Clemson. I have Clemson at 11, but I do think that it could be, if they don't do it this year, could be falling off in the college football world. I mean, they're not in the top 10 right now for me. I feel like everybody's been catching up to them right now. Just like how everybody's probably thinking everybody's catching up to Alabama. I mean, those were like the two main teams. Georgia was down here in Michigan, Ohio State. I mean, it's crazy. The college football world has changed right now.
I remember when we knew it was Clemson versus Bama. Like, we didn't even have to play the season. That's crazy to even think about.
Like, everybody would always guess Clemson, Bama. But no, I mean, you have to look out for the teams this year that are catching up. And Clemson hasn't had a dominating defense how it is before, and they don't have that star-studded quarterback anymore under the helm. Trevor Lawrence per se, they don't have Trevor Lawrence anymore.
Yeah,
DJ was kind of a hit or miss. I'm not going to call him a bust, but he's kind of a hit or miss right now.
Yep.
Cade, he has a chance to bring Clemson back to what they used to be.
Yep.
It just depends. And Dabo has the chance to go back and be one of the greatest head coaches again. It just depends on what that team can do on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, they always have like a first-round defensive player. Like, I mean, they always have something like that. But we're gonna have to see. That's my 14 through 11 right now.
I like it. Let's keep this thing moving, though. Let's get into this 10.
No, this is where it gets fun. This is where it gets very, very fun.
We're going to go through our 10 through 6 pretty quickly, and then we're going to make one pick out of these 10 through 6 who could make the playoffs. I'll give you mine.
I want to say that we have the same team just because I'm thinking it. I don't know, but I can't wait to hear yours. Go ahead, brother.
All right, number 10 for me, Washington Huskies.
Ooh.
I like Washington a lot. Michael Penix Jr. is no joke. I think he is a legitimate Heisman candidate, and I think he has a legitimate high NFL career ahead of him. He is.
I think he's accurate. Right now. I think he is top 3 right now for me.
I think it's a very solid spot.
Caleb, Drew, Michael Penix. Yeah. Those are my top 3 right now.
I think you got a pretty close, man. For me, it's just his accuracy and his ability to just control an offense. He was such a dog at Indiana. So,
well, you remember that Ohio State game we watched, dude? I mean, they were behind, but he balled out. He showed grit in that game, and they were getting beat up. I mean, I think he almost left that game with an injury.
Oh yeah,
came back.
It's ridiculous.
Leaving Indiana and going to Washington, just.
I mean, it's such a good choice. That was what I was about to say. It's just like he actually has a chance with Washington. Like, Washington's in a great conference in the Pac-12. You can win that conference, and you can legitimately make the playoffs. They've made it before, So it's one of those things for me.
They have studs on that offense too. Like, he has more weapons on that offense than he did at Indiana.
Oh yeah, easily. And that defense has been good. Like, they've got a couple of corners that are ridiculous. It's like.
They've got some players over there to really support his play. Yep. And he doesn't have piss poor play, dude. Like, he as you said, he could be a legit NFL quarterback within this coming up year.
Yeah, he's so talented. Such a fan of him. I really like his ability on the football field. I'm gonna keep this thing going to Texas at number 9.
I like it.
I'm a believer, even though they lost Bijan. And the other running back, they are talented, man. They are so talented. And I am a believer in Sark. I think the Sark era is just beginning. I think
I
this
love
is
Shark, dude. I love Shark, dude.
he's
I
so
love him.
good, and I
I
think
miss him.
this is a good year for them to just be able to kind of test the waters and then make it this move to SEC. One of the things is like they have that opportunity against Alabama. If they can pull that one off,
Yeah,
they set themselves up for literally a championship. So it's going to be
we're
fun
just
to
gonna have
watch.
to. I like Texas there. As you said, it's just gonna be a move, and as we've talked about before, it all comes down to week two. Playing in Tuscaloosa
Mm-hmm.
week going to be the biggest like make or break moment because if Bama wins, I think Bama's primed to go. If
Yep.
Texas wins, Texas is primed to go to the playoffs.
Yep. 100%. I couldn't agree anymore. It's such a good spot for them to be in. Such a great game, man. That's like that last year was such a good game. This year is going to be even better, I think. Number 8 for me, Penn State Nittany
Mm,
Lions.
I like it. We
Drew
are
Aller.
okay, baby. Let's go.
Hey, it's Drew Aller season, baby. Is his opportunity to
I'm
kind of take
excited.
over?
I'm very excited.
5-star kid, elite 11. I mean, it's all there. It's just can he
Number
do it on
one
the football
quarterback coming
field?
out of his class.
Yep.
It was like the week before the final rankings came out.
Mm.
They gave him five. They gave him his fifth star, and he turned out to be the best quarterback in the class.
I mean, he's so good. He's massive. My comparison to him is Josh Allen. Like
That's what everybody is, dude. I mean, he's huge. Look at him.
6'5".
The kid's like, I think he's like 18 or 19, and
Yep.
he's already 6'5", pushing 200.
He's such a stud, and I'm so happy has his opportunity now. I really think he's going to shine this
He
year.
waited his year. Sean Clifford did that team good at the end of the year.
Yes.
Sean Clifford did what he had to do. I know nobody was the biggest Sean Clifford fan, and I have a Penn State fan in my family. Like me and him would talk. He never liked him, but he respected what he does. Drew Aller has a legit chance to take Penn State to their first college football playoff appearance.
100%.
But the biggest obstacles, two of them, you have to beat Ohio State and you have to beat Michigan.
Yep.
But the biggest obstacle is themselves. They beat themselves every single year.
I like that.
They could be top. They'll be ranked 4th, and they'll lose to some sorry bum in their division. Like, I mean, they beat themselves. If Penn State can pull it together, they had a top 5 defense last year. Their defense was ranked 5th last year.
Yep.
If they can bring that back and make it a top 5 defense again, plus that offense brings it together with Drew Aller at the helm, solid. Like, I mean, you can't tell me that team's not prime. Plus the running backs, dude. Their running backs, Penn State can make a run for running back from what they put out.
That's the truth.
Like, that's a fact. Like, I mean, they are so talented. And they have wide receivers, too. They have some slept-on wide receivers.
Yeah.
But they do have studs.
I mean, and I do like Franklin, even though I do think he is in a slight hot seat. He's one of those coaches that's so hard to like fire because he's just been there so long and been consistent. Like they've been bad a couple of times. It's like they just and
It's been like hit or miss a couple of seasons, but I mean they haven't been like tremendously bad. I think COVID year, they just were off.
It was just they've only had a couple of bad years with Franklin. I did think he was going to lose his job after that year. So for him to be back and have this team where they are, they're one of those teams for me. It's just like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep this thing moving because I could talk about them all day.
They're always that team that's a hit or miss.
Yeah,
like you don't know.
They have the talent.
Where they show it.
Yep.
There's moments when they show it, and then there's moments where it's just dog crap.
Yeah.
Like I mean, terrible.
Exactly. And so I'll move on to 7 here. I think this team is they're primed, man. They are primed for. I think they can honestly win it all, personally. And it's hard for me to say that. I think Florida State at 7.
Oh,
they're so good, man. They're so talented, bro.
They're so good.
They're like crazy talented.
Hey, I just want to let you know. I've already talked to your brother about it. If they come out of week 1 with that dub, bro, it's over.
Oh, it's over. I mean, they put themselves in the top 5, maybe even top 4. They're so good, man. I could talk about them all day.
Everybody wants College Game Day to be North Carolina and South Carolina because that's a week 1 game.
Not fun.
Nah, man.
No.
Move that thing to Florida. Put the Tigers and the Noles for college game day because that's what it needs to be.
It has to. I mean, if it
It would
isn't,
be a shame. It would be shameful if that was not the first college game day of the year because that's a game that's going to be electric.
oh, it's gonna be so
Because there's
freaking
revenge, man.
electric, man.
There's revenge coming.
It's like that's the thing is like both of these teams like honestly neither team should have won last year. It was so
That was
funny.
just the first game of the season, man. I mean, everybody was new. I mean, LSU just had Jalen Daniels at quarterback for the first time. So
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot more that can come back. There's a lot more that's going to come out of this game than last year.
100.
There was no blocked field goals this year. Just no blocked field goals.
Hmm.
I don't know how they got away with 2 blocked field goals last year, but they did.
Yeah.
But they came to play. Plus,
Yeah.
after they beat y'all, not beat y'all. After they went, sorry. After they play y'all, they have to go play Southern Miss. So, I mean, think of it this way. If y'all beat them and then they go and lose to Southern Miss,
Jesus.
think about the freaking depression Florida State fans are going to feel.
That would be terrible, wouldn't it?
College football playoff.
I'd be so conflicted.
God.
I'd be conflicted as a LSU and Southern Miss grad. I'd be like, what am I supposed to feel like right now?
So LSU loses. LSU can lose, but Southern beats them?
I just
Makes no sense.
always a Golden Eagle, never was.
Bro, did you know this? Southern Miss's first game next year is a week 0 game. And you know who it's against?
Oh, God. Who?
It's in Columbus, Ohio.
That's right. I forgot about that.
They got to play Ohio State.
Yeah,
week
Dean
0.
Mixon's going to go see that one.
Listen, no, me, Nolan, and Lee and Nolan were talking about it, and we're trying to get you on if you can.
No, I will request off for that one, dude.
Make a little road trip to
my
Ohio
God.
because that would be fun.
That's crazy.
That's a week 0 game, bro. That's insane.
God, it's gonna be such an ass whooping.
But Florida State, I think, is primed to make a playoff appearance this year.
Number 6, I got USC Trojans. Their offense is absolutely ridiculous. Lincoln Riley is an amazing coach. Can he put it all together? It's crazy how talented that defense actually is when you look at it on paper and they can't do anything.
Yeah, on paper it looks amazing.
I mean, they've got 5 stars everywhere. It's just like, what is going on? But I think they got a new defensive coordinator, so I think that'll help a lot.
They're hitting the transfer portal again this year.
Yes, and
like big time.
Caleb and Mario Williams, man, that is a duo that you got
Brendan Rice.
Yep.
You got the legendary Jerry Rice's son on that team. So, I mean, there's talent everywhere. Caleb, once again, Caleb is like Patrick Mahomes.
He's so good,
He's going to make him look good.
I could talk about Caleb Williams all day. Like, that dude is going to literally destroy.
Coming out of high school, Nathan. Coming out of high school, we knew this kid was going to be good.
Everyone.
That Red River rivalry, when he was throwing bombs.
It's so ridiculous. He's so like I've watched his highlights when I was making his rankings, and I was just like I knew he was gonna be good, man. But like he has a legitimate chance to be one of the best quarterbacks I think of all time.
That's what I put I put a note by them. I said Heisman repeat, man. Like they have a legit Heisman repeat.
That'd be the first one since Archie Griffin in like the 70s, bro.
Insane.
But that's my 10 through 6. What you got?
6 through 8, we had it the same.
Okay.
I switched around. At 10, I had Texas.
Okay.
Just because quarterback play once again came into it.
Very fair.
I like Quentin Ewers. I like the team around him because that team is like last year. They're good. Last year was their first year altogether, but now they have a whole season. They have weapons everywhere, dude. Besides Xavier Worthy, you have studs all around him. And if Quentin plays that game last year and doesn't go down, they beat Bama.
Yeah.
They go down and beat Bama. You can't tell me that. And I'm an Alabama fan, and I'll tell you straight up. If Quentin Ewers plays that game, we lose.
Yep.
But if they piece it all together this year, I feel like they have a legit chance to win it. First off, they have not won their conference since 2009. They haven't won their conference in 2009,
what?
Nathan. Yeah,
that's
you didn't
crazy.
know that, did you?
TCU, that's right. TCU,
2009,
Oklahoma.
since Texas has won the Big 12.
That's what
Oklahoma has won it.
Was that Mac
That's
Brown?
like 18, yeah.
I
think it was 2009 or 2008, but I'm pretty sure. Have not won their conference since then, dude. That's sad.
One.
And they've had star-studded talent everywhere.
That's so ridiculous, man. That is so crazy, man. That's so
But
weird.
if they put it all together, they could do it. They could totally do it. They don't have Oklahoma in their way anymore. Oklahoma is, I don't think, a threat to them at all. Texas has a chance to run the Big 12 for a very long time. Because look who's coming up after Quentin Ewers leaves the league.
Jeez.
Arch Manning is coming to that freaking team.
Oh, dude, that's so crazy to think about, isn't it?
I mean, exactly. I mean, Texas has a chance to, and plus,
he lost
won't
his
be a
school ID
quarterback
twice already.
Well, he lost it again.
He lost it twice.
No, dude. Did you see? They put a Texas page put out on Twitter that they clocked him at 20 miles an hour on a 50-yard touchdown run.
What?
Arch Manning, dude.
That's
doesn't
crazy.
make any sense.
He's gonna break the league.
He's gonna be a monster. Plus, he's got a cannon.
Yep.
But he's not gonna be a quarterback of the Pac-12, the Big 12. He's gonna be an SEC quarterback.
Yes. Yes.
But we'll see what happens. At number 9, I have Washington. I like Washington a lot.
Yep.
I like their offense. Their
so
defense is good, but their offense is consistently good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that game against Michigan State last year, baller. Mm-hmm. Michael Penix Jr. is a dog. He solidified himself on the map as like, hey, I'm here. I've been here. Mm-hmm. So like, what's the point of what's pushing people not to put him at top 5 quarterback or top 5 in Heisman if he has a really good year?
Yep.
If he puts up over 4,000 yards passing and 35 plus touchdowns, I know it's a lot, but if he does it,
and that's a Heisman numbers, man.
You got to have those types of numbers. You can't be putting up 20 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Yeah,
that's not looking good. Plus, his draft, he's a draft prospect this year.
He has an opportunity to get him in the top 5, man.
Exactly. I mean, if you don't win a championship, then you strive to be the top 5 pick. Yep. Strive to be like the 3rd quarterback off the board. But they have a legit chance to do so, and Michael Penix is going to be the leader of that. Because once again, me and you have seen him. He's really good. He's got grit to him, and they play in a really competitive conference this year. Because honestly, if you look at the Pac-12, they have some of the best quarterback play this year. Not going to lie. Yep. You have Caleb Williams, you have Bo Nix, you have Cam Rising. You have Michael Penix Jr. Like you have you have Shedeur Sanders. Like I mean, you have dogs in the Pac-12. Like I mean, I know we talked down a little bit about them, but you go in and look at it, and you're just like, dang, this conference actually can be talented.
Talented.
They just have talented defenses. So that's where I got Washington. At number 8, we are Penn State. We're gonna go Penn State, baby. My biggest thing for Penn State is don't beat yourself. You can go and beat Michigan and Ohio State. Don't lose to don't lose to any other team that can cause you trouble. Kind of like Iowa. They play Iowa every year. Iowa is one team that can give Penn State some trouble. Besides those 2 other teams that I've named, but Penn State just doesn't need to beat themselves. They need to take it game by game, work out everything they got with a new quarterback. I mean, but you have the offense to do it around them as well.
Yep.
But that's where I got Penn State. And at number 7, got Florida State. It's time to make a push. Yep. It's time. Like, if now is not it, I don't know when will be.
Yeah.
But it is time to make a push for an ACC championship game appearance again and a college football playoff appearance.
100%.
It's time. I mean, you have the quarterback, you have the offense, you have a defense that could be the best by the end of the season.
Yeah.
But you have to you got to do it. You got to make a push. The coaching has to make a push for it as well. I mean, everybody's got to want it, and this team I know wants it because they were so close last year. Yep. There were some games last year where you were just like, oh man, take that play away and they win the game. It's all up to the LSU game. If they win that LSU game, they're making a push for the playoffs. If they don't, then they have to play lights out. And then at number 6, I got California, USC. Coming back with the reigning Heisman winner, Caleb Williams, Lincoln Riley, a winning head coach, very winning head coach for sure. You need to make a college football playoff appearance this year. You have all this talent. I mean, Lincoln Riley literally could be the quarterback guru of college football right now with all the talent he's had at quarterback.
Yeah.
It's time to make a move now. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about making the playoffs and making a championship. He's never made a championship game. I'm not putting this all on Caleb. I'm putting on Lincoln Riley.
I
Because
like
Lincoln
that.
Riley needs to make a push now. You've been coaching for so long. You've had two back-to-back Heisman winners. You've made college football playoff appearances, but you've gotten blown out in every single one of them, except one, the Georgia game. Georgia game wasn't bad, but every other game you've been getting blown out in. It's time to wake up and make an appearance.
Yes.
And that's all I got to say about that. I mean, at 6 is not bad, but they have a chance to be a top 5 team by the end of the season.
Yep. I think
and bring SC back to what it used to be. SC used to be the dog.
Yeah.
SC used to be the dog of college football.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see it again. I kind of want to see them be competitive.
Yeah, and it's kind of like they're one of those teams. It's like college football is better when USC is good. You know, college football is better
when Reggie and them were around. Oh my gosh, it was exciting to watch.
Crazy fun to watch. Florida State's one of those teams too. I feel like I think you could throw in there. You could throw a Texas in there. It's like there's certain teams that it's like there's a nostalgia to them being great. You know, Vince Young when he was with Texas. You know,
I mean,
Jameis Winston, Florida State days. You know, USC back in the day.
These teams that have been around for so long that have so much culture around football. When you suck, it's not fun to watch you because then you're not fun to watch. But when you're competing, when you're putting up points, when you're showing the country what you're made of, it makes it fun again. It makes watching your program more fun.
Yes. 100.
And these teams in the top from 6 through 10, these are the teams that have a legit chance to push for the playoffs and to make a championship game. These are the teams.
Yep. All right. Yep. You're on the money for that, in my opinion. It's one of those things. These teams, this is when it gets elite. So let me ask you, CDM, which of these teams do you think should, but will possibly, like out of these, the most likely that will make the playoffs?
There's so many teams. Like these teams are so good. If I'm gonna pick a team, I'm gonna go Florida State.
Yep.
I'm going Florida State, dude.
Right
I mean, it's time. You have everything that you need. And if not Florida State, I'm going to say Texas. But Florida State's my number 1 pick.
I think we're both in agreement. I think USC has an opportunity, but it's one of those things. Florida State beats LSU, beats Clemson. They're in. If they win the ACC, they're in. Texas, they beat Alabama and win the Big 12 for the last time. They're in. So
Trust me, it's been a minute. They need to win that conference.
Yeah. Last time they won it was when they lost to Alabama in the championship game, Carson.
That's 2009, right?
Yep. That was Colt McCoy got injured. Yep.
Yeah. Look at that talent. Look at that wasted talent. Once again,
he's still in the league. He's still elite backup.
Another Texas quarterback that if he does not go down, they have a chance.
Yeah, that was definitely a big turning point in that game. But I think
Texas has been put in some crappy situations when it comes to playing Bama, and as always, you lose your quarterback. You have been put in some crap situations.
Hang on now. We need to do an investigation here.
Honestly,
Bounty Gate.
Look at it.
Bounty Gate.
You play Alabama in the championship. Colt McCoy goes down, does not play, gets ransacked. Quentin Ewers balls out, he gets hurt, and then you almost win the game, and then you lose again.
It's so.
Texas has been hit with some crazy injuries when it comes to playing against like Bama, but Florida State is the team that I think can make it, and I think we're both in agreement right there. It's time.
It's definitely their time, man. It's one of those seasons. It feels a little special, and I hate that because LSU plays in week 1. It's so we could talk about this all day. We got to get moving on to this top 5 because this is when
this is what I've been waiting for, dude. This is the bread and butter, right?
Yes, and we're gonna go through this team by team. I'll give you my 5th team, and you give me your 5th team. And we'll do that with every pick until we get to number 1.
I think our 4 and our 5 pick are going to be very different.
They are,
but the same. But it's totally fine. It's fine.
I'll give you my reasoning. At number 5,
I'll give you my reasoning. It's totally you probably have a better reasoning than I do. It just depends on how it just depends. Y'all have the quarterback. Y'all have a quarterback.
That's where it's at. I'm gonna put Bama at number 5. Only reason, there's a couple. They have LSU. I'm gonna talk Bama. Alabama has a situation where if they put in the wrong quarterback, they will lose the wrong game.
And it's week 2, bro. It's week
Exactly.
2. It's where it comes down for us.
That's me. And it's just, if it comes down to you putting in the wrong guy, which I'll say Nick Saban doesn't do that a lot. I'm not going to say he does that a lot at all. He usually picks
He
the
makes the
right
right
guy.
decision if he needs to.
Yes. And I don't mind the offensive coordinator. He's not the greatest. I won't say he's the greatest offensive coordinator, but
He's not the greatest that we've ever brought in, I would say. But he does bring – I don't want to say he brings anything different to the table. He's just young.
He's
A
young.
young coach.
He is. And there's
And
not –
this is where I think he's going to get an opportunity. You come to, like, for players, for coaches, for faculty, if you want an opportunity to do something great, come to Alabama.
oh, this is where you go to get the better job. I mean, every single
To get,
coordinator.
like, NFL scout, like, you think NFL scouts look at players, they really kind of look at coaches as well to steal what they improve on.
Saban's coaching tree.
The
Saban's coaching tree is ridiculous, man. It's like Bill Belichick's, man. Like Bill Parcells. It's just ridiculous.
No, I looked at the 2016. I looked at the 2016 head coaching. Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Mel Tucker, Mario Cristobal,
Will Muschamp.
Will Muschamp. Like that team was loaded.
I think
Shane
Beamer, South Carolina, right? I think he's been board.
Yeah, Beamer was too. Arkansas had college football.
Yes, yep. Pittman, yeah, that's right.
Like, I mean,
Bill O'Brien got another job.
But I would say the boys are hit right now with what you said. I agree with you. If we put in the wrong quarterback, it could cost us a game.
Let me ask you. Who do you think should be the quarterback?
Ty Simpson.
I'm right there with you.
Absolutely.
I personally would rather y'all put in Milroe. I'd rather y'all put in Milroe over Tyler.
So here's what I think is going to happen. I think since first off, Jalen Milroe has been here the longest. He's played a season. He's played a whole season game. He played one season. He played that one game against A&M and played that half against. He played the rest against Arkansas. He balled out against Arkansas.
Yep.
And we watched that A&M game, and it was rough. That A&M game was rough to watch.
It was.
But I feel like they're going to start Milroe at first. We play Middle Tennessee. Only thing I don't need to happen is week 2 when we play Texas. You cannot have any mistakes. But if he screws up in that game, Ty Simpson will make an appearance. And if he saves us, if we're in a predicament and he saves us from that game, Ty Simpson will be the starting quarterback. But I think that Ty should be the starting quarterback because you got to be able to throw, bro.
Yep.
You got to throw a dot. You got to throw dots in this league. You got to be able to make – Jalen Milroe is like I would say a faster version of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. And my thing is that if you go with Ty Simpson, they'll put a perfect system around him for him to be successful. They have the system. It's been there. It's been in that they've been using it for the last 4 or 5 years. You know, it changes with coordinators, but it's very similar. With Milroe, I do believe Bama will. I think they'll get a good system around Milroe. I think Milroe is a guy where it's like, if he's in the wrong system, like the system last year, I just don't think it was a good system for Milroe.
Yeah.
If they say, all right, this is our guy, we're dedicating our season, unless he's absolutely horrible, to this guy, we're going to put a system around him where he can be successful. I think it's possible. Do I think y'all are a championship team with Milroe? No. I think y'all's best opportunity to win a championship is Ty Simpson, and I think we completely agree on that.
Well, I mean, you got to look at this. We got Tyler Buchner.
Yep. And
his old offensive coordinator was Tommy Rees.
Yes.
So, I mean, he knows the system that Tommy Rees plays. I don't like Tyler, in my opinion. Like, I don't think he's a bad quarterback per se, but I just don't think he knows what the SEC is about.
That's the thing, bro. It's such a different beast.
Like,
man, he's never been in it. That's why Milroe probably has the inside track, but I think Ty Simpson's ability on the football field, his potential exceeds everything that Milroe can give you.
His ceiling is so high.
That's what I'm
for
saying.
Ty Simpson.
It's just like
Milroe's ceiling is super high too, but it's also got some low floors though.
It's one of those things for me. It's just like, I mean, I'm looking at y'all's roster too. I mean, I've got players, man.
The supporting cast is there. Like we have a supporting cast. Whoever we put at quarterback is going to get the best of the
I
best.
mean, yeah, you get
Our
Burton,
defense is good.
Jermaine Burton Senior, Ja'Cory Brooks is going to come back. He's going to have an
Yeah.
opportunity.
Isaiah Bond's
Bond is
there.
good.
Malik's I can't remember his name. He was the number one JUCO wide receiver.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was trying to find him, and there's so many players on these rosters. It's ridiculous. But it's just these there's these certain guys on y'all's team that makes y'all's team very interesting. I do think LSU will have a slight advantage in the running back room, and I think
now.
I think by committee. I think it's just by committee for LSU. You got
I
John
I
Emery.
respect that. I will say that Bama's running back room has depth for sure,
Yes.
young depth. Like not like the spring game was the most they've played in
Yeah,
front of a
because
state.
I love McLean. I think McLean.
I like McLean too. Like
Yeah,
he's got
you
some
say it's a weird way to say it. It's not McLean, but it's like McClellan.
McClellan.
Yeah.
McClellan.
He's a good player, and if you're behind Jahmyr Gibbs, you're gonna learn something. But for me, when it comes to LSU, you get Trey Bradford. He's gonna be a sophomore next year. Noah Kane Senior, John Emery Senior, Amani Goodwin Jr. You got 4 running backs that are like legit good players.
Yeah.
And good running backs. I think LSU is definitely going to take a step back at receiver. I do think LSU might have the better receiver. It's tough for me because Burton's good and Corey Brooks is good, but I do think Malik Neighbors is coming for that. Bolitnikoff.
I think he's coming for it. I just think our guys have the experience.
Yep.
Burton being the main guy who has the
Yep.
most experience.
Yep. That's
went
it.
And won a championship and then how does it feel? Won a championship with Georgia and then transferred to the team that you beat.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Jeez, that's so wild, bro.
Like I mean, I think LSU and Bama are neck and neck. LSU having the slight advantage for sure, but for me, it's quarterback.
Yep.
It has to be the slight. That's the advantage, isn't that quarterback?
Yep. The one kid I need to see LSU take over in that receiving room, Kyron Lacey's good. He's a senior. He's a vet. I need to see Brian Thomas Jr. I've heard too many things about this kid being a burner, and he just hasn't shown it in game. I need to see him come out, and then Max Taylor. Everyone knows you. I mean Mason Taylor. I know you know him.
I know him
from last
Legend.
year. He's gonna be back, man, and there's a lot of talent on the offensive side.
I know him because of his dad too. His dad's a Dolphins legend.
Exactly,
But
Jason Taylor. But I do think Alabama has a slight edge. It's one of those things. Once again, it's like I think LSU might have a couple more star players with Mason Smith and obviously Kendrick Perkins. But I think Alabama's overall defense will be a little bit better.
We've got some returning players,
exactly.
And then our freaking secondary coming back, dude.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
That's the thing.
Like Kool-Aid McKinstry, then the true freshman Caleb Downs coming in.
I like Dallas Turner at linebacker.
Dallas Turner, I think he's going to be mostly on the edge.
Yep.
Honestly, he's going to be taking that Will. I think he's going to take Will Anderson's type.
Whoa! Who's this? Who's this Devontae Smith at the defensive back? Hang on.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they've been calling his name out a lot.
That's
bro.
crazy.
They've been calling his name out a lot. Jake Pope, number 21.
Jake Pope I've heard about him.
Jake Pope is a dog, dude.
Freshman.
He's a safety, and I like him.
Freshman boy, okay. And then Kool-Aid, I mean, he's going to be a top 5 pick.
Kool-Aid, I think, is the number 1 corner in the class this year.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't think that, you're
I don't know.
crazy.
I mean, Iowa's corner is super good.
Kool-Aid's
so
ridiculous, man. Kool-Aid's is such a playmaker, man. Like, you knew it, and then I saw it. I was just like, this guy right here, like this kid right here is ridiculous. So it's one of those things. I know we could talk about Bama versus LSU all day. For me, like you said, it comes down to one thing, and the only reason I picked him over him was quarterback, a little bit more stability there. I do think if you want to look at rosters, it's close. And if you give them Alabama made that slight nod like the AP did. I mean, the AP said, obviously LSU's good enough to be a top 5 team, but I think this roster for Alabama might be a little bit better. So it's one of those things. It's like you're juggling these factors.
Surrounding cast comes into play for sure.
Yes. So that's my biggest thing. I know you got Alabama at 4, and LSU at 5. We don't have to keep talking about that. So
Yeah, that's past that. We can skip those two. I mean, those are the only two things I think
yep.
that we've traded up.
No, yeah, we talked about that one for a minute. It's gonna be fun. I'm so excited to see LSU week 1 against Florida State and see Alabama get
I'm ready
tested
to
as
see
well week
us
2.
beat the brakes off of Middle Tennessee. Just waiting for it.
Hey, you'll get tested early though. Both of us get tested
Oh
early.
yeah, we get tested early. I mean, both of us back to back get tested early. You get Florida State week 1, we get Texas week 2, and that Texas game is not going to be any slouch.
It's gonna be fun, man. I'm so excited. Let's move on
It's
though.
going to be loud in Brandon.
Oh, isn't it? All right.
Well, just imagine if y'all were having this game in like Florida State.
Oh man, but it's still in Orlando, so it's like that's still a little bit hometown for them. All right.
Okay.
I think we have these next 3 teams as the same. I have Ohio State at 3. Who do you have?
I have Ohio State. Another thing I want to say about them, Ryan Day. I think Ryan Day's in the hot seat this year.
That's bold.
I think he can be a little bold, but
that's bold.
If you look at it,
I like it though.
He's made the playoff. He's only made one championship game.
Yep.
Right now, let's see. Won with Justin Fields, lost with Justin Fields, lost with C.J. Stroud.
Those are elite quarterbacks, man.
He's had some elite quarterback play, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't feel like I feel like right now he's got to prove something. Like he's got to win a championship if he wants to prove that he is a head coach.
He's got to win that conference, bro. He can't lose to Michigan again.
He can't lose to Michigan again, and he's got to win he hasn't even won the conference yet.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's only won it one time.
Yeah.
And that was against a sorry Wisconsin team with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
But Ohio State, they have a quarterback problem. I wouldn't say a quarterback problem, quarterback controversy because they don't even know who's playing. They have a squad. Now, if you want to talk about supporting cast, I know Bama had the team. My God, Ohio State has everybody.
Yeah, that's why I still have Ohio State over LSU because
Ohio State needs to be over both LSU and Bama, dude. I mean, they have everybody. They have the second, in my opinion, the second best player in the draft.
Yeah. You can honestly make the case that he's the best. It's just Caleb will go number 1.
I mean, you can make that argument. It just depends on the context. Because I mean, you never know. Arizona's got 2 first-round picks next year. Arizona could go back to back and get a wide receiver quarterback.
Pull that Texans with CJ and Will. I don't mind that. I'm telling you though, man, it's ridiculous that Marvin Harris, if he went in the draft this year, he would have been the number 1 receiver off the board. He'd have been a top 5 pick.
He'd have been a top 5 pick for sure.
And that's crazy to think about. He's going to dominate next year. I think he has an absolute legitimate chance to win the Heisman. And it's hard for me to say, but Devontae Smith proved that was a possibility again. And I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is, no offense to Devontae, I think he's better, you know.
I think he has a better attributes for sure. Look, he's physical, bro. Like he's going to be 10 times better than his dad was. And his dad's a Hall of Famer.
Exactly. That's the thing. Is like that's not even like outlandish to say. Like people won't look at you crazy if you said he's going to be better than his dad. And his dad proved he is an absolute legend. Had amazing moments with Peyton Manning. Man, it's just like
Peyton played with the sheriff.
It's like
only thing I'm saying is don't go out there to try and be better than your dad.
No,
go out there and make a name for yourself.
Exactly.
Go out there and prove that I'm better than everybody in the league. I'm not even saying go out there and be a Jamar Chase type year.
No.
Like go out there and do what you need to do. But can he have a Jamar Chase type year? Oh, yeah. He could have a Justin He could have a better season than Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase did their rookie years.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm like. Those are the prospects that I'm going to put him up against.
He's coming for all those records.
Dad or Jerry or Randy, along with Curran. And right now, those are the 2 top dogs that have had stellar rookie seasons at wide receiver so far.
I mean, he could break all those records and OBJ's
and
records.
It just depends who he gets at quarterback. Like, it just depends on what team he goes to. Like, if
definitely
if he
situational.
He is a generational talent. Like, you can't make that up. Like, dude has everything. He has the physique. He's got the hands. He's got the balance. He's got sneaky speed. And he's got the route running.
He's so good.
So, I mean, Ohio State has the supporting cast around them to be good. And who knows? Marvin Harrison could get paired up with his former high school quarterback, Kyle McCord.
Wild.
Kyle
That's so
McCord right
wild.
now is like, I think Kyle
McCord's going to win the
McCord.
job, I think.
I think Kyle McCord will too, and I think he's gonna do good. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
But look at the cast around him, like that. You can't be bad with that. Like
No.
you can't be bad.
No,
if you're bad with all that talent around you, I think it's just time to hang up the cleats.
Get out of there, bro. You get the best receiver in the country.
Save yourself some embarrassment because it's not worth it.
I think we definitely agree on Ohio State having that big opportunity this year to really kind of make some noise and honestly do what they should have done a couple times now and kind of get to that big dance and win it. You know, they should.
I mean, they were a field goal away last year. Field goal away.
I mean, that was the real championship, if we're being honest. That's crazy to even think about.
Oh, yeah. I know everybody wanted a Michigan-Ohio State championship game, but Georgia-Ohio State, if that was the championship game, bro, trust me, that I would have been more entertaining to watch than the absolute donkey kicking we got.
It was so weird, man. It's so weird that
it was just so unmatched. It was just so uneven. Like that Georgia team.
You could tell immediately.
Like that Georgia defense made that offense look like children.
It was so bad.
Like a JV team.
They looked so much smaller, man. Man, God, I can't believe that happened. All right, let's move this thing up to the two teams we just talked about, Michigan and Georgia, because I know that those are the two teams we have, and I think we can both agree Michigan at 2, Georgia at 1.
Yep. Now, do I think Michigan will stay at 2 for long? No, I don't.
Yeah, I think 3-game suspension for Jim. He got it.
I saw that. Now, that plays into a big factor. Because you could either go undefeated until he gets back, or you can go 1-2.
If they lose any of those games, bro, they deserve to never be ranked again.
If they lose, what are those first 3 games?
I'm about to check them right this second because they're pretty trash.
They can't be like star-studded talent anywhere. And now if Penn State's in one of those games, yeah, totally.
I know it's not anybody good. Let's see.
Akron first game.
Oh, God have mercy. ECU, which ECU's a fun school, but they're gonna.
East Carolina.
Yeah. And then
they almost upset North Carolina State last year, so I'll take that.
And then UNLV, University of Las Vegas, and then Bowling Green.
Oh my God, dude! Are you serious?
Yeah, they don't put anybody good until.
Out of those 3 games is East Carolina at the beginning of the season.
God, the Big Ten's so freaking weak, bruh.
Dude, it's trash. It is absolute dog
Their
water.
First actual hard game is Michigan State in October, bruh.
And so you're talking about, they're going to go undefeated until they have to play like a good conference opponent.
That's ridiculous.
When did they play Penn State?
They played them.
They have to play them like right after.
11-11. 11-11. It's to Michigan State. They play Purdue after that, and then they play Penn State, and then they play Maryland, and they go Ohio State last, or Ohio State comes to them.
About to say it's in Ann Arbor this year.
Yes.
Ooh, man.
But they had to go to Penn State. They do have to go to Penn State.
I'm telling you, if Penn State is undefeated, Penn State can make a jump up to the top 5 if they want to.
They have the opportunity, man. Penn State's got a harder schedule than them, I think. Let me look at this. These Big Ten teams. There's so much. Oh, my gosh.
What, Penn State is harder?
Yeah, they got Iowa week 4. That's no slouch. Ohio State in the middle of the game, middle of the season at the same week that Michigan plays Michigan State. Then they get Michigan 11-11 and finish the season against Michigan State. I mean, those are obviously.
Iowa, no slouch.
They start the season with West Virginia. That's no slouch either.
Oh, dang.
And they did that last year. You remember how good that game was?
They don't play another SEC opponent this year because last year they played Auburn.
Yeah, no. These Big Ten teams ain't playing no SEC, bro. They're avoiding them to the playoffs.
Another thing thing about Michigan, can they go to another level? Can they rise above making a college football playoff appearance and rise to making a championship game? That's a big question mark for me. Can they go above and beyond? In my opinion, you have the best running back room in the country. You have two star-studded running backs. Okay. Jack Sawyer, defensive end for Ohio State, came out earlier today and said, "Yeah, they're not going to be running the ball so easily this year." I don't know because that offensive line, dog, is that's probably the best offensive line in college football right now.
They've done it the last 2 years, brother.
I was going to say, dude, they ran the ball down your throat, and you
I'll
haven't
believe
stopped
it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
When I see it. That is facts. Like in my opinion, Michigan has the best running back room and offensive line room
so
right
talented,
now.
man.
Their offensive line is dogs, dude. Because I think they're all seasoned vets.
Oh yeah.
So
I
I
think they
mean,
have the most experience.
I don't know. I don't know what happened in that TCU game. TCU just came to play, but I mean, on a good day, that offensive line and that opens the hole for that running back, dude. Blake Corum gone.
But it's
And that's the thing. You get Blake Corum back for a healthy season, and if J.J. McCarthy could just put the ball downfield, people are hating on J.J. McCarthy. I don't mind him. I don't think he is. I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's like star-studded talent. I think he can be. I think he's top 10 in the quarterback class this year. I may put Spencer Rattler over him, but JJ has to be a game managing quarterback and do what he has to do. Like make the smart decision where he wants to put the ball. Don't get flustered in big situations. Right now, you're doing pretty good because you're undefeated against Ohio State.
Yeah.
So keep doing what you're doing. If you keep beating your big rival, you're doing something right. But Michigan just needs to take that step above and be able to punch that ticket in. And if they make it this year, then I mean, I don't think if they make it this year and they have to play a Bama or an LSU, that's not going to be a slouch.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's going to be something big. So we'll see what happens for Michigan this year. It also depends if John Harbaugh in the playoffs kind of chokes. Like, they haven't won a bowl game since like 2015. Like, Jim. I said John. My bad. Jim. My bad.
It's the brothers. You good?
Jim needs to make a push in the playoffs of trying to get it, like trying to get to that championship game. They haven't won a bowl game since he's become the head coach, basically.
Yeah.
Like, in a couple of years, they have not won a bowl game.
That's what I'm saying, though, CDM. That's my biggest thing with Michigan. It's, they can win the Ohio State game now. They figured it out somehow the last 2 years. But they can't win the bigger game, bro. They cannot win the playoff game, bro.
Ohio State is the biggest game, dude.
Yeah, that's true. But they've lost badly to Georgia, and then they lose badly to TCU. It's like
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that was a bad game.
It wasn't a bad loss.
It was a very entertaining game.
But they shouldn't have lost that. That's one of those games you can't lose, man.
Those are the games you can't lose. And, I mean, they came in on fire, but they were making mistakes left and right at the beginning of that game.
Yeah.
Like, Michigan did not look like they were ready to play, and they had 2 weeks off before that game. Like, I mean, you had to be prepared. And you're going in undefeated. You're going in as the top dog, and TCU's the underdog. And they came in and just beat you senseless.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like you lose to Georgia. It's a bad game, and then you do the same, like not the same thing, but you didn't learn because they did against Georgia. They were sloppy. Against TCU, they were sloppy. They didn't learn, and it's like
two different quarterbacks playing right there.
There you go.
Two different quarterbacks, yes, but everybody else on that team should have known what was coming.
Yep, Jim
should know what's coming. Like, I mean, what were you going to do if you win that game and you have to go play against Georgia? Like, what were you going to do? And same thing against Ohio State. It's hard to beat a rival twice. If they were to have to go play Ohio State in that championship game, guaranteed Ryan Day would have had a chip last year if they had played against Michigan.
Yeah. Michigan's another team that we could talk about forever, man. It's just like
– yeah, it's just one of those teams that we got to move on.
You gotta win the bigger games, man. You gotta beat Ohio State, but you gotta win.
When it comes up, you gotta nut up or shut up, bro.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Right.
Let's make this quick. Georgia, the champs. We know why they're number one. They deserve to be here. Obviously, new quarterback in.
I don't have to respect Georgia, but I respect Kirby enough.
Very well put. Very well put. CDM, Alabama fan. Now it's one of those things. It's Georgia is. You gotta it's impossible not to respect them, and it's almost impossible not to pick them to win it all because it's like their talent's ridiculous, man. Even looking at it right now, it's like their roster's still unbelievable, and
Their roster is filthy
they
still.
didn't even need a guy. Like, they didn't need a Bryce Young or Caleb Williams or
They
CJ
didn't need
Stroud.
a top recruiting class.
Yeah.
They don't have a top recruiting class, and look at them. They're back to back.
They're so ridiculous.
But also, like as you said, they don't need a Bryce Young or a C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
They just need a plain Jane 25-year-old quarterback who can sling it. And, they got it in Stetson Bennett back-to-back years.
Yep.
But he's also been on the team since 2017. And,
Jones College.
Jones College, baby. Go, baby. Let's go Bobcats. No, man. They don't really need the guy. But the thing is, this year, they kind of do need a guy. And my biggest question mark I have right here, can Carson Beck deliver? Can Carson Beck come in after 2 back-to-back championship seasons and take them back to the playoffs? I'm not worried about the defense. The defense is going to be top. The defense is probably going to be top 5 next year.
Yep.
Offense, the weapons around it are not bad because they kept a lot of people on offense.
Yep.
It's all about Carson Beck this year. Carson Beck is not a full season starter. He's not a seasoned vet. He has been redshirted for a while. He's going to come in and make his own name. Stetson Bennett made his name. He's in the league now.
Yep.
He's making moves. He's probably about to be the backup quarterback for the Rams. Now it's time for Carson Beck to come in and show what he can do and what he was promised to do coming out of his recruitment class. Top 5-star recruit, man. He had to sit behind – I think he had to sit behind Jake Fromm and Justin Fields, right?
I thought, well, maybe. Or did he come in the year that Justin left?
I think he came in the year Justin left. No. Well, no, he left after that season. No.
Let me see. Carson Beck recruiting class.
His was 2019 or 2020?
He was in 2000 and he's a junior now, class 2020. Yep.
Okay, class 2020. So he came in with who's in that class?
That was when Justin was with Ohio State already.
That was his first year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or was that his first year?
Yes.
Okay, so that wasn't COVID year. COVID year was 2019, 2020. He's been there, so he had to sit behind. So he still had to sit behind Stetson Bennett.
Yep.
And he had to sit behind. I think he had to sit behind Jake Fromm for a little bit.
Oh yeah, he's in the same class as Bryce and DJ. So.
Yep. So yeah, he had to sit behind. Yeah, he had to sit behind Stetson Bennett.
Ugh.
Never mind.
Arik Gilbert.
Oh, dude, don't even give me. That's a name that I don't even want to hear.
Wow, Eli Ricks, Keyshawn Boite, Bijan Robinson, Mike Mayer. This class was crazy.
Sam Howell today, baby. Sam Howell went 19 of 25, 188, and 2 tugs.
Talk about a USC guy. Now, I think the biggest thing, you hit it on the nail for me, is does Carson Beck, can he deliver? And it's not even about him being a Heisman. It's not about him being a top 5 quarterback.
I don't need a Heisman season. I need a playoff season. I need to take us back to playoffs.
The thing is about, you can say a lot of things about Stetson, and we love it, having fun about it. But the thing that Stetson had that a lot of guys just don't have is that championship grit and IQ, man. He was always game, bro. That dude was
smart with the ball.
He's so ready. It didn't even matter the moment. Like, that dude does not understand what fear is. And that's all I'm asking from Carson Beck. I'm not asking you to be Stetson Bennett, balls of steel, but I'm asking you to, carry on that aura. That was the thing about Stetson, is you could say a lot of things about him, but that dude just came out and balled every day, every week. Just played good. Didn't really have bad days.
I mean, I'm going to call him the best game managing quarterback I've ever seen.
That's the best way to put it.
That's the best way to describe it. He is the game managing quarterback, and he came in and did what he needed to do.
Twice.
He waited twice, back to back, and balled.
Just ridiculous.
And both of them. But now Carson Beck, I don't think Carson Beck needs to come in and worry about that. As you said, no Heisman season. I just need you. If I'm Georgia, I need you to take us back to the playoffs.
Yep.
I need you to have a good season because if you don't, I'm not gonna lie, their quarterback room is kind of shaky.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback room is kind of shaky right now.
Yep. 100%.
A little bit, I mean, Brock Vandergriff, I think, is the backup, and then after that, I just have no idea.
Yep.
So I mean, we'll see what happens. But they're just, I think that defense is still going to be the same. It's just up to Carson Beck now.
Yep. 100% agree. I think we finally have gotten through these rankings. We were a lot longer than we wanted to, but hey, bro.
Yeah,
First
that was
pod.
a lot. I think we hit some points very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think we hit some points very well on some of these teams. I think the team me and you are most excited. I know we're excited to see our teams. We're most excited to see Florida State.
I think Florida State's definitely the fun squad this year.
Florida State's on the radar for me for sure.
They're the fun squad this year. But let's make some game picks, brother, and let's get out of here.
I got a question. Who's your Heisman sleeper? You have one Heisman.
Oh, okay. All right. A Heisman sleeper. Oh, man. It's hard not to be a little bit of a homer here. I do think Jaden Daniels has an opportunity, but
I think he has the best bet.
I think he's definitely a sleeper. Oh, man. I don't think Jordan Travis is a sleeper for Florida State, and I don't think you could put Michael Penix in there either as a sleeper. So I'm going to say Jaden Daniels or J.J. McCarthy, because I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. has either.
J.J. McCarthy, okay, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm going to say the quarterback from Notre Dame.
Hang on, I'm going to change that.
Okay.
Drew Aller, not J.J. Drew Aller.
Oh, dude, that's a sneaky one. Oh, you son of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm going to take Sam from Notre Dame. That's going to be my guy. I think he can do it. And then if I'm going to take anybody else, I'll be that guy. I'll take Joe Milton. I think Joe Milton's a sleeper.
That's a good one.
Joe Milton's a safe pick for a sleeper pick. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But Sam from Notre Dame, I think he can do something. Sam Hartman, he can do something.
I mean, if Notre Dame wins and makes the playoffs, he's going to be right in the thick of it,
Oh, dude, he'll be a top 2 pick. He'll be a top 5. I think he'll be a top 10 pick.
Oh, yeah.
I think he'll be. If he balls out, he'll be third off the board, second, depending on how Drew does.
He's impossible not to root for it as well. I mean,
you gotta love the guy.
Yeah,
like he almost beat Clemson, man. Like,
and he overcame a lot. Like he got like a sickness or something or some crap last year.
He was down bad. I think he had leukemia. I think don't quote me.
Let's make sure.
Put the wrong information out there. This dude's gonna be like, I have leukemia.
Let's see. Illness. It was Paget Schrotzer syndrome. Affects. Okay, it was a blood clot. He had a blood. Dang, that's scary.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So he had a blood clot. That's still
a blood clot in his calf. And his calf, his thigh.
I mean, that's no joke, man. And those things can really screw you up.
Okay, so who'd you want to predict? Which teams did you want to predict for the upcoming week 0?
Hey, we got week 0. We got a couple of ranked teams, and we got a big game Thursday. I know we're probably going to drop another pod before that, and we might talk about it a little bit more. But we're going to drop a little bit of prediction for the Navy Notre Dame game, USC San Jose State game, and the big one next Thursday, Utah versus Florida game. So let's start Navy versus Notre Dame here. I know that we're probably going to both pick Notre Dame here. So tell me what you think. What are you expecting in this game?
I expect Notre Dame to come out all cylinders. I expect it to not be a perfect game. Some sloppiness because Army.
No, it's Navy. It's Navy.
Oh, it's Navy. I wrote Army. My bad. Yeah, Navy can give some teams a run for their money. It's not a slouch game, I would say. It's a good warm-up game for sure.
Yes.
Because they could surprise you. I mean, wing T offenses suck to defend. I hate them. But they've been running this for generations. But I expect Notre Dame to come out. I expect Sam to, put the ball where it needs to be. And Marcus Freeman to solidify himself as, hey, I am here to compete as a head coach in this work, in this profession. So I don't have a score prediction because I'll go out. I will like give you the most outrageous score. But I think it's going to be a close game at the beginning, but Notre Dame ultimately takes it out.
Yeah,
So
I respect your Marcus Freeman call out there because I do like him a lot. He's hard. He's one another guy that's hard not to root for, as well as Sam
well,
Hartman.
last season was a bit iffy just because it was a brand new team.
Yeah, so brand
Like
new,
that team had
man.
been used to Brian Kelly,
Yeah,
so it was a brand new team for him. So I expect this year to be a little different. I expect him to get at least maybe 10 wins under his belt.
that'd be
Like
awesome.
a 10 win season is phenomenal. But if you
Mm-hmm.
can go undefeated and win and get into the playoffs, then you'll be recognized. He'll be recognized for sure more than he already is.
Exactly, and I like man. He's hard not to root for. I think Notre Dame comes out like you said, not the perfect game. I think they'll be definitely a little shaky early on. I think. I think
That's
that.
how I think most games are going to turn. I think
Yep.
that's how most games are going to turn out. Fresh start, new faces in new places. But you've had a whole off season to work it out. There's going to be some slip ups, but it's going to be at the end of the day, it's going to be a good ball game.
Yep. I think it'll be fun early on. Maybe I think maybe Navy might like get a weird touchdown where you're like, hang on now. But I think Notre Dame locks it down on defense early, and then Notre Dame's offense kind of starts cooking later
Yeah.
in the second quarter, second half. Let's go to San Jose State, USC. Number one
This should
offense
be
last year against San Jose State. What you got? 31-point spread.
good lord, dude. Well, I think I'm going to take San Jose State.
Ah, all right.
I'm gonna take the under,
Under.
and no, Caleb Williams is gonna come out by the third quarter. They won't even have him in.
Yep.
If San Jose State somehow wins this game, if you're a
USC might
if
have
you're a
to
South
fire Lincoln
Carolina
Riley
fan-
immediately.
if you're a USC fan after this game and they lose, just call season quit after that because it's just gonna be rough. Um, I expected to come out and still see the Caleb Williams we've been watching since his freshman year.
Yep.
The only thing is that you don't have Jordan Addison anymore. You have brand new. You have what's his name? Mario Williams.
Yeah.
You have Mario Williams. You have Jerry Rice's son over there as well. So I mean, it's going to take some time to get used to it. But they're going up against like a school for them, hopeless and blind. So I think it's going to be an absolute domination.
Domination.
It's going to be.
Yeah.
The Trojans. You've heard of Trojans working, but this one's just not good. This one's going to break through.
Yep. This is. Damn it, Carson. This is definitely going to be a massacre. I will agree with that. I think it's definitely even worse than 31. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah, obviously.
Talking about the horse. Dude.
Yeah. Let's move on to Florida, Utah. This one's a fun one.
The biggest game.
Utah is a 6-point favorite in this one. We know that Florida's got a new little quarterback over there. Another kid that's got to really. Yep, he's got to prove himself though.
Grammar.
But yep, Graham Mertz, he's a dog, but youngster that has not really had an opportunity to shine in a good offense with good players. So, what's your prediction here?
I'm gonna take Utah. Last year they got lucky. Florida got lucky because Anthony Richardson was making mind-blowing plays. How do you do a 360 in the air with a pump fake, roll out, and then hit a 2-point conversion? That's. I mean, he's still trying to do those plays now, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I expect this game, and I kind of want to give a score prediction. Graham Mertz coming in out of Wisconsin didn't have I don't think he had the weapons that he's going to have now. He had the running back. Don't get me wrong. He had the running back and everything.
It was the system.
I just don't think he had the weapons or the environment.
Yep.
I don't think the Swamp is going to be any better than Wisconsin because their stadium gets just as loud as any other stadium in the country. But the Swamp is different. The Swamp brings a different atmosphere, wakes something up inside you. And the opponents that you're going to be playing are going to be, in my opinion, a little bit better than the Big Ten. But this is the third year we get this game, and it's been a great game all the 2 years.
Yep.
Like I'm talking about, has top 5 game written all over it.
Yep.
But I'm going to take Utah in this one. I think it's going to be a close game than what most people think. I'm going to say it's a 3-point game. I'm going to say 31-28.
I like
I'm
it.
going to give you a little score prediction. 31-28. That may change over time, getting closer to that game.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a game that's going to wake Florida up because I believe Billy can do something good with this team.
I like
I'm not
that.
a big
Yeah.
Florida fan, but I feel like he could still do something to make a push. And who knows, maybe dethrone Georgia. I'm
Mm,
not saying this is not a game that's going to this is not a game that's going to solidify, identify you as a team. This is going to be a game that's going to get you ready for the rest of the season that's coming
yes.
up. And this is a very big game because this has playoff all around it, bro. Like, who knows? You could get a Utah versus Florida playoff game this year.
Mm,
Anything's possible.
that's crazy to think
But I'm gonna
about.
take Utah. I'm gonna take Utah in this one. I like Utah just because of the quarterback position as well.
Yep. I like it, brother.
Now, what
Um,
about you? Who you got?
I'm going to say Utah. I think they win by a little bit more. I think Florida's going to figure it out later this year. I don't think they've got,
I don't think it's going to be an early season thing. I agree
yeah.
with you.
I think maybe they get a couple of big wins late against teams maybe they shouldn't win against, maybe. I think Utah will start off great and then run into a Oregon, maybe even Oregon State, a USC, and
Do
have.
they play Washington this year?
Oh, that's a good
I don't think they
question.
play Washington unless they make the Pac-12 championship
Oh
game.
my God! If they do, that's a hell of a schedule, man.
Oh, dude, that's going to be a hell of a game.
No, they play them.
Oh,
this
they do play.
That's a crazy schedule, man. All right,
Wait, what's their schedule?
Florida, Baylor, so that's no slouch.
Oh,
UCLA, that's no slouch.
oh my God.
Oregon State, Cal,
Okay,
USC,
okay.
Oregon.
Oh my God. Wait, wait. Pause,
Yeah.
pause. Whoa. Dude, that is an insane schedule.
Yep. And then Arizona State,
Okay.
Washington,
Okay.
Arizona, Colorado.
Okay. Uh, oh man, that those first few games that you just said, my God, bro.
Tough, bro.
Remember when I was talking about battle tested?
Hmm.
If they make it out of those games, oh
Hmm.
my God,
Uh,
that's like the most battle tested team I've ever seen.
It's tough, man.
That's a tough schedule, dude. Because as you said, Baylor's no joke.
They're no joke, man. I'm gonna say Utah and flip it. I think Florida figures it out late. Utah runs into some buzzsaws late, and kind of is not as good later in the season. I think Utah is gonna come out ready for some revenge, man, and win this one. You gave a
They
score
lost that
prediction.
game. Dude, the way they lost that game last year was so heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking. So you gave a score prediction. I'm gonna give one. I will say 34-24.
34. Okay. 10-point, 2-possession game. I kept it by 3.
Mm-hmm.
The spread is 6, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're both close.
Yeah,
We're both
you have
close.
Florida covering. I have Utah covering. So we might make another prediction next week, but that will do it
Okay.
for us, brother.
Dude, first episode of College Kings, baby. Let's go.
Let's
In the
go.
books.
In the books. That was fun, man. Obviously, we'll get better with this and stuff, but we knew
I'll see you
this.
next Sunday. It's fine.
Exactly. I mean, this one was kind of a little all over the place. We knew it would be with the top 25. Obviously,
Yeah.
once games start happening, we'll be doing recaps and stuff and kind of covering the big news. And we do want to drop weekly, if not bi-weekly, top 25 rankings. Obviously, we won't do a pod for them every single time, but you'll see that on our social media platforms to
Yes.
kind of keep up with those. And
I've
obviously,
I've got new college football content coming out. I've got recruitment coming out as
yes.
well. So I mean, once I get my computer going back up, we'll be able to posting out content and getting that stuff out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, CDM. Episode 1
Thank you,
down.
sir. Always a great honor.
Yes. All right. That'll do it for us for College Kings. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms with Nate Dogg Sports. And we will see y'all next week for College Kings.